easy like Sunday morning. Rip my head out. Alright. This thing moving more. Why I look like that? Why I look like that? Alright. Let's see. I gotta. Oh, Alright. Let's start. Alright. Get these things on. Page in here. Yeesh. Oh yeah, I'm on a OU page already. On the OU page already. Alright. Get these invites going and stuff real quick. Shares and likes, all that good stuff. Alright. A couple hashtag FYP.
Hello?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
You said, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
The topic?
Yeah, like what are we talking?
Yeah, that's what we talking about. Block. You're gonna look at the topic and ask what we talking about. We ain't starting this early. We're not gonna start this early. What's the deal, cuz? How you feeling, brother? Ain't starting this early, bro. Got the whole topic in front of you and talking about what we talking about. Oh my. We starting off already. Ain't that something? Let me get my hashtag FYPs in here for us interrupted. Get these shares going and all that good stuff. Uh-huh. These people drop in here. Alright. Like, no, it's Friday and I gotta go to work tomorrow. I gotta get one more OT day in, man. One more OT day in. Right. Yeah, there's people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who did I invite? I think I invited most of the people I needed to invite in here. So today, this is what we talk about. This is what we talk about. Is this the only way we can unite, man? And we can only unite off tragedy and trauma, man? That's the only thing we can unite off of? Otherwise, when tragedy and trauma don't happen, we back on, let's hate on one another again. Let's talk about gender wars again and all this other stuff. That's the only way we can unite. It's tragedies or traumas. So we're gonna talk about this. I've been thinking about that for years, man. I know that's the only time we know how to get together. It's funerals, You know, things happen to us. Only time. Otherwise, we ain't saying nothing. Sometimes maybe we can get some birthdays in. People barely doing that. Uh, it's the only way. Is it the way? Hold up. I wonder if you could. I thought you could do that. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Is it gonna? Mm-hmm. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is. All right. Oh, well. I guess. Who else I can share it to? Let me get. Let me get. Who else? Who else can I get in here? I think that everybody right there. That everybody I can send to everybody. Profile. Nah. They got Ghostface in here, Noob Saibot. Off the okay. I forgot who that guy is. Interesting. Interesting. We live. Give you 15 minutes. I'ma come. That was the fastest 15. I was looking my head down that long. What the heck? 15 minutes that long? I was looking my head down that long. I think I meant to
Nah, I'm about to load a truck right quick, so it might take me
oh.
like 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I think you and AJ fighting over that box. She said she had seniority. I didn't know she took that box. I didn't know that.
oh, you know what? Hey, you know what? She was here before me, so hey, she could
I
have.
didn't even know that. I was like, nah, what the heck? That's why I was like, I didn't think nobody took that.
Oh yeah, she could have it. She's been here before me. Hey, but I like that. I like that first question.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, we still waiting, right? Damn, ain't nobody getting no taps yet,
Nah, it just started about a couple minutes ago. A
man.
couple people came in and left back up, but
Man, I was in a live earlier, right? And I think
yeah.
I ain't gonna say his name, but I see him in your live sometimes. Like he don't be on the panel, but he'll come through. I see his
Mm-hmm.
name. Goddamn Michael. You know Michael, huh?
Dang, what the freak is this?
The 5G dude or the 4G.
Oh, not him.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
on
yeah.
Charles.
Yeah. Huh?
Charles?
Nah, not Charles. Nah. The dude who started the 4G. Michael.
Oh,
Okay. You
you
probably don't
got
know.
me.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you got me.
And somebody was like, I asked a question on a panel. Somebody was like, man, every time you in a live and you ask a question, he said people never answer. I said, man, a lot of people tell me that, right? So it was a panel and they was talking about how hold on, Dan, let me get my shit. Oh, they was talking about how like black men is the issue in the community, right? And I said, no, I wouldn't say black men is the issue. I say anyone that live in a community that don't report crime, don't believe in snitching, uh,
Mm.
know the candy dealers and don't report them, know people that are unalive people and don't report them. They are the biggest problem in our community. It ain't just one person, and there's a lot of people that subscribe to the no snitching. It ain't just men; it's women also. So I said,
Facts.
so we can't just put that on men. So then the woman was saying something like, well, black men are having kids over here in Dominicans and overseas, the passport bros, and now these women are saying that black men are leaving them single. I said, okay, let me ask you this. I said, I'm not going to refute nothing you said. But if a lot of women is saying a certain things about men, is it safe to say that men should believe it? She said yes. I said, okay, cool. I'm not going to disagree with you. So when it comes to when men or a bunch of men are saying a bunch of things or the same thing about women and specifically black women, do y'all take that in consideration that it can be true? And she said no. And I said, you know why? Because y'all gonna find ways to say it's insecure. I said, if a man say he don't want a high body count, I say I disagree with it, right? But if a man say he don't want a high body count and that's his preference, and I say when a woman have their preference, is looked at as far as she know her worth. It's about women empowerment, and we should accept that. And I say I'm not gonna give you no pushback. But when a man lay out their preferences, it's always met with some, oh, he insecure, oh, he's controlling. Like, why I just can't be, you listen to us. Y'all have men say that, I'm gonna say in our community, they say that they're aggressive, masculine. That's what black men are saying. Now, I'm not saying that. Let me just make sure for the listeners. But that's what but that's what black men are saying in the vast majority, right? So if black men are saying that, and she just said that if women are saying this about men, we should take it as truth because all these women not gonna be lying. So if black men are saying this about black women, how come y'all don't have that same consideration? Like, you know what? Maybe we are this, and we need to listen to black men. And nobody answered. Then somebody named Rafael Delgado, he was like, man, every time I see you on a panel, no one never answered your question. They all
I know him. Yeah, he got that little picture and stuff, that little Hey Arnold picture. Yeah.
He said nobody never answered your question. I was like, man, somebody else told me the same damn thing.
Right, he'd be the setup artist. That'd be so funny. I'd have said it about 3 times in 1 week. That was the funniest. I was like, this dude on the street right now, tic tac toe.
And I try not to. Damn, let me hit some likes, but man, they tripping on here.
Go ahead and be arrogant.
That's what I'm talking about. You damn right.
Of course you gonna say that. That's some funny stuff. Yeah, damn right. And I ain't taking it back. That's funny, dog. Oh, man.
And we only do come together during tragedy though.
I've been saying that since I was young. I just noticed that. I'm like, people don't want to say it or something. I guess I say it then.
And the only time, well, I'm gonna say, when you say we only, you see, I read that with my own. I did some interpolation just now.
You knew it though. Your interpolation was right.
Yeah. When I read it, I inserted something that wasn't even there. I said we only unite over tragedy and trauma. And I specifically, and I read it as if black people only unite.
Black people.
And that's not even what you said, right? So okay, I did interpolation.
But you know what I mean, though. So.
Yeah. But I know what you meant. But when we think of that, right, we only unite when tragedy. I'm gonna say just America itself. And I remember at one point, black people, we became the people that we say we didn't like. And let me tell you what I mean. During 9/11, like we know what it's like to be or to feel oppressed and someone not liking you because of your skin color. We know what that felt like. But when those Indian people, Islam people, whatever, I don't know the name, but when those Arabic people had that 9/11, we were okay with people, and we were okay with labeling them, like looking at them suspicious, looking at them because they got the turban on their head. We was doing the same thing to them that we accused of YT people doing to us, and we had no issue with it. We had no problem sitting back watching other people being oppressed because it was no longer on us. So in a sense, we kind of like some hypocrites when it comes to that type of shit.
No. That's been the word. You've been hearing me talking about that all this week. The hypocrite. That's just all it been. Low key. Always be hypocrites. Then we switch stuff up. We always want to make things fit our narrative. And it's so bad. It's bad, man.
And
this junk is so bad.
I always say
it's in my family too, though. You just don't, man. This junk's so deep, man. I can't really talk to some of my family because I just be listening to them. I'm like, man.
But it should be a point where we could just be like, let me hurry stop a little bit, truck. Let me get it off right quick. It'd be nice if we could just admit. I'm gonna say for me. I ain't gonna say we. I'm gonna say me. That one thing I noticed is I always like to be honest with myself, and I feel like a lot of people, they not honest with themselves, so it's hard to be honest with others. I can admit that I'm a hypocrite, and let me tell you what I mean by that. I believe in reporting crime, but if my brother committed a crime, I'm not gonna report that. I admit that that I don't believe in that concept, believe all victims, right? But if my
Right.
daughter came to me and told me that a dude touched her, I'm gonna believe her ASAP, right? I
Right.
can admit that I have some things that I'm a hypocrite on. I don't think a lot of people could admit that. They'll try to stand on certain things because they want to be right. I'm a hypocrite, and I have to admit that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a righteous hypocrite, if that makes any sense.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
man. That's funny that I get you at the same time, but it just sounds funny to me. Righteous hypocrite. What's the deal? Slimmy in the building. Welcome back.
I don't think hypocrite would be the word I use for you, Sean. I would think you're biased.
Okay, yeah, okay.
True. Good word. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
bias.
a good one.
A righteous
Yeah.
bias. Yeah, righteous
I
bias.
think a lot of people. You just gotta throw that in there. You right. You right about that too. I'm on the same because we like that. I think everybody like that for to a certain extent because we can have somebody say if it was somebody that might have hit they girl or something that like that, right? And we looked at them that they changed their life and stuff. We'll use that same thing for a person that we don't like that messages on, like, no, why would we listen to him? He hit women, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, though.
Because I'm so
But,
tired of the whole beef with Chris Brown. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fair fight.
but
He lost, and I'm sorry. That's a hill I'm willing to die on.
mhm. Yeah. What y'all Fridays looking like, man?
Hmm.
Hmm?
Yes, I'm calling off work because I don't feel like being there.
Oh my, you got the luxury life. Watch out.
Luxury is kind of crazy.
He said, I don't feel like being there. So I'm
I feel
gonna
like
say
you're
that
telling
yet.
my business right now.
He said, what?
I feel like you're telling my business right now.
My bad, my bad. I keep it on the hush. My bad. I mean, say that too loud. Huh?
What made you assume I was married with kids?
I don't know. I mean, by the time people at 30, they were usually done either been married or have kids or whatever. Or if they was preaching how you was preaching, sure, I would have thought you'd have been taken for sure. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want kids.
So you don't want kids?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Because I don't have the desire to be a mother. I spent the majority of my childhood under parentification raising other people's kids. I don't want to do it.
I feel it. I feel it. You want to get married?
I do.
Okay. That's a deep one right there, man. You know, when some dudes gonna want to have a kid.
Which is why my preference is typically older men who have already had the kids they wanted.
That makes sense. Plenty of them out there. Plenty of them out there.
I'm not gonna lie, I went on a date not too long ago and I found out that the guy I went on a date with, I know his daughter because me and her, we graduated the same year.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of
You
crazy.
ain't playing. You getting them grandpas. Like,
Nah, he wasn't that old because I'm 30. He was only like 42. He had her when she was like 16, when he was like 16.
Where
But
you from?
it's still weird because it's like, I know you and how I know you and then how I know your daddy, that's crazy.
They call me mama.
I'm from California.
So you in Cali? Okay. California. Party. Do they really not party out there?
Of course we do.
Okay. Well, you just okay, I got you. Okay.
Sorry, I
Speaking of that, that's the new slag, the slick top.
the hyphy movement ain't dead.
The what?
The hyphy movement ain't dead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Y'all keep on hitting them likes. Let's get to, it's like 13 people up in here. Hit them likes. And I can see who hitting likes too, because I TikTok snitch on y'all. Nah, I know who putting in that work. Also, hit them likes. Follow my YouTube if y'all haven't followed it. If y'all interested and like my content and like what I talk about, go ahead on my YouTube. Also, join the team. If you don't have an orange heart near your name, that means you haven't joined the team yet. It costs 1 penny. You just go to where my name is at, and a little heart will come above my head. That means you're part of the team after that. Also share to some people, man. Don't be stingy with my lives. If you want some more people to you know, bring some more conversation in here. Go ahead and invite them. You know, and I think that's everything. I think I did it. That was a good
Is
high break.
people view loyalty or the lack of loyalty or being loyal to
Boy,
the
sleepyhead, you ain't even go to work today. How you sleeping?
stop it. I ain't go to bed till like 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, tired of being tired.
I didn't go to bed till like 7:30 this morning.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that one. You get a pass.
I work at a bar. I am up all night and I'm usually asleep right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
Don't tell me you one of them bar ladies with the cheeks be sticking out and all that stuff.
no, I've been I own a chunk of the bar, but I manage it.
Oh, okay.
I'm the one that tell the girls with their cheeks out to get on the floor and sell them bottles.
Okay. You the cheek director. Okay.
Hey,
The
so
cheek of all
she like that
cheeks.
girl off. She like Ronnie. She like Ronnie out Players Club.
No,
She
no,
like
no,
that.
no, no, because Ronnie was out there doing stuff.
Oh, okay.
Uh-uh.
Man. Mm-mm. She out there that
I'm
lit.
like Big Bad
Directing
Dollar Bill,
cheeks.
if anything.
Dollar bills, y'all.
But ain't nobody gonna tell me to sit my ass down before they make change, though.
Uh-oh. Not before they make change.
You never seen Players Club?
I seen a little bit. I don't like getting asked about movies, man. Everybody be.
Man, I gotta take your black card, Kev. Man, I don't know what's
I
going
knew
on.
somebody's
I
about to
knew it.
come with it. I done, as many
Because
times I done heard
I
it.
knew
I'm
what I was
good.
talking about.
I done heard it. It's too many movies that y'all be this because I'm gonna say this, man. I gotta at least help myself. I tell people that I wasn't really a movie. I always been a video game head.
That's supposed to
I just always
happen.
been that. I never watched the movies like that. And even my friends, my real, well, I ain't gonna say real friends, but my friends that I kick it with, my main friends. They was my one man's be like, man, I'm about to sit you down and we gonna watch a bunch of movie nights. I'm like, he said, I got so many movies I gotta catch up on. Every time they mention one, I don't know nothing about it. I'm like, dang.
Because my mama didn't let me watch that stuff, so I didn't get it until I was like maybe 17 or 18 years old. I had a parental lock on my TV till I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have no excuse.
Wow. That's some real parenting right there. They need to do that now.
Well, to be fair, I got caught up in a situation I really shouldn't have been in as to why the lock was put on there. But like, yeah, it happens.
Ooh, you looking at the wrong channel over there.
No, no,
You
no, no,
sure it
no.
ain't slimy? It
God,
ain't slimy. It's slimy.
it's definitely not slimy. It's slimmy. But like, nah,
Feeling
the
slimy
batteries
that
in
day.
my
Like,
remote just
ooh,
happened
what
to
did this
die.
fucking do?
No, the batteries in my remote just happened to die. Flipping through
Oh my.
channels, and Cinemax used to be a thing. HBO after
That's what
dark.
you gonna run with? The batteries
No,
die. That's what you.
so I'm not
Wow.
gonna lie. My thing is, I used to watch. It was like 4 shows that would come on at like 1, 2, 3, and 4 o'clock in the morning our time because it was on EST, and they were all kid shows, like morning cartoons. And it was
Mm-hmm.
Happily Ever After, Fairy Tales for Every Child, Bob the Bouncing Ball, A Little Curious, and it was another one, Crashbox. And I was going to start watching Crashbox. I was flipping through the channels to get there, and my batteries really did die out.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister just happened to walk in my room, and what was on the TV wasn't appropriate to her. And she has a bad habit of taking things and running with it as a person. That's just how my sister is. You can't tell her nothing. Whatever she think happened in her head is what happened.
Oh my. Oh, I
And
know
she's
so many
the
people like that
oldest.
right now.
So like it was a lot of stuff I couldn't do or got in trouble with because she heard a small piece of like I might have said, oh, one of my friends was smoking weed, and she's gonna go tell my mom she heard me say I smoked weed. I don't smoke.
Mm.
So that's how I ended up with the parental lock on my TV. She happened to come in my room. And to be fair, even though I was aware of what's a politically correct way to say it, pornography is, I'm not interested in watching pornography that pertains to people of a certain complexion. So I definitely wasn't watching that to get my jollies.
Mm. Okay.
I had a cell phone with internet on it. I was not concerned about HBO softcore.
The heck era you grew up in? Well, you only but 4 years younger than me, I think. How the heck? How you had internet? I, I was born when internet came out. I ain't shoot. I was over there looking at pictures. couldn't even really have no. I actually
I
got
had,
my first. I had got my first phone flip. I actually got the same number since I had in high school. My dad gave me my cell phone at 16.
I had that number for almost 20 years.
I used to watch BET. Oh wow, his name need to be slimy now.
BET Uncut was a different time.
They gon' say that because it ain't your face. I need that.
Like, I'm not
That was
gonna
his
lie,
favorite
that
one.
Chris Drill video still lives rent free in the back of my head.
And they must be up because it ain't your face. Boy. Swiping cars. These are the swiping booties everywhere. I want
And you
that.
want to know what's funny? I think women owe Nelly an apology for that.
Why you say that?
Because number one, it wasn't his idea to do the whole credit card thing that they called him degrading and debasing for. It was the girl
Mm,
he did it to. It was her idea. He
wow.
told him to do that. And then on top of that, when he was supposed to go to that women's support group to like apologize for degrading women or whatever, and he didn't show up, they told everybody that he didn't show up because he couldn't handle the heat in the kitchen of being responsible for his actions. When whole time, I believe his sister, either she had her cancer had came back or she had passed from it. So that's
Hmm.
why he didn't show up. He went to go be with his family.
Hmm.
They owe him an apology. If y'all want to support
Okay.
women in their decisions, support the fact that she wanted a credit card in her crack. You can't pick and choose how you support.
Back.
Yeah, and you know what's sad though? This is the sad part. Now that I heard that, because I didn't even know that part. But the sad part is that his sister passed because women all across the country decided not to do the bone marrow drive,
Yep.
and
That drive was
that
supposed to help
that
her.
would have that was for her. That was for his sister to save her life. And women all across the country decided against it because of the card swipe. And now knowing that the card swipe was a woman's idea, like it's crazy. That's crazy as hell.
Mm.
The girl he did it to, she was the one that said, "Hey, you know what'll be fire if you do this." So he did it.
How much that card think?
Oh wow.
Said why? I don't know why I thought about that too. I don't
Yeah, just put a little hand sanitizer on it. It's
know.
all
Oh
right.
my.
Put a little
I don't
alcohol on it.
know. I'm gonna blame it on the alcohol.
That's not cute.
Oh man,
Uh.
man, that's wild though. I never knew that.
He said
That's
black
wild as
men
hell.
don't get apologies. They will say stop
Well, part of,
coddling.
well, part of
But
your prompt though, I don't think it's that they. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with the grammatics of how you pose that question.
which one?
The very last one, the way people view loyalty, the lack of loyalty, being loyal to the wrong person, the problem is
Oh, I
for.
thought I changed this. Hold up, my bad. I
Oh,
changed this. I'm supposed to put
yeah, I'm
it
gonna
in
still
there.
answer it. I'm gonna still answer it. No,
Supposed
I
to
don't
put
think
it.
giving it to the wrong people is a problem. I think people have the wrong expectations of what loyalty actually is. I can be loyal to you, and you could still do something that makes me feel like I cannot be a part of your life anymore.
Mm,
I think they mean loyalty is undying. No, loyalty is it's not love. It's mutually beneficial. It's
mm,
different. Loyalty has conditions on it.
mm. Interesting.
And I don't think people understand that because it's just like, okay, I'm about to tell my business again with my father. He was probably the least loyal person ever. Like the only thing he was ever faithful to was the Oakland Raiders.
Dang.
He was the kind of man, you know how parents do that ghetto shit or stuff where they mix their names together to get their children's names.
Mm,
He didn't want to mix him and my mama name. He wanted to mix his name and the lady he was cheating on my mama with name together to get my name.
mm.
That's
And
crazy.
when my mother
Wow.
finally divorced him because she got tired of being free milk, he called her unloyal. And it's like, how much was she supposed to take? You slept with her best friend's wife in her house.
Mm.
You cheated on her from the time y'all got together to the time y'all got divorced. You didn't take care of her in any kind of way. She took care of you. There has to be a level of reciprocity with loyalty.
These daddy apps are so horrible to. Oh my god. I hate I got so many red flags on. Like, but
Red flags for what?
it's so die. So as soon as I start seeing chest or I see a booty get pointed out towards the thing, I instantly just hit X. Stomach sticking out X.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got boy.
I feel you though, man. Like
Hey,
it
cause they
get
don't got
old
nothing
after a
else to do
while.
nowadays, man.
No,
I want me a
well, not
fully
even
dressed.
that.
Somebody give me a
Like,
Muslim, man.
well, see, the thing is, like, I don't.
You
It's
want to
for
become
me. It ain't even that. It's like I know that they're doing other things outside of just showing their body off and dancing or whatever. But like, it's how many millions of people on this app, and everybody, every woman. Well, I ain't gonna say every because it's some that don't, but like the majority of the women got at least one video like that, and
Yeah.
like how many videos like that can you watch before it's like, oh, okay, I get it, like, okay, cool, swipe up, I ain't even gonna like that shit even though you my follower. Oh, okay, cool, that's what you want. Okay, swipe up, you my follower, and I'm a fuck with you on another video, but not that one. Like I'm just kind of, it just get old after a while. It's
Yeah, dude.
kind
It's
of
like
like,
when you mature
yeah.
and change your lens. Yeah, you're not, and you want something serious in your life. You don't be caring about that stuff no more for real,
To be
man.
fair, most men don't care.
I wouldn't say that though. Some men,
I'm
You
not
don't care
saying
about
that
what?
men don't care. It's just
they do. They want to
I've
see them
worked
booty jiggle. That's what they want to say. It must be
I've
that
worked
good, it ain't your.
in a lot of different communities. I will say that.
Mm,
And the one thing I've noticed is when you're online, right? Like how we're on TikTok. Yes, okay, I hear men say, "Oh, we care about these things." The water is killing me.
Oh, my bad, it's raining.
Been
Sorry, I'm
alive.
overstimulated. But when I'm online, I hear a lot of men say, "Oh, I want a woman that dress more modest," or "Oh, I want a woman with a low body count," or "Oh, like these things are things I hear online." In everyday life, these are not things I hear. Like they may be amongst you and your friends, but honestly, the vast majority of men do not care.
Yeah. One thing you probably wouldn't hear that from a man. A lot of men, right? Because they're not gonna talk themselves out of getting a chance to sleep with you. So that's you
Yeah,
just a
no,
lot.
I'm
I
a
can
little
understand why a
different.
lot of women
I'm a
would not
little
hear it.
different. I'm definitely one of the boys. I've been hanging out in more masculine circles for the majority of my life.
Well, you already know. Some people just
I was also a
when it come to
lesbian for a
dating, if
long
they're not
time.
talking about serious stuff, I think when people say that stuff, it's on more serious. They're not talking about well, unless they 'cause some dudes still be saying if they got good smacks, I'm gonna marry them, or if they got a fat booty, I'm gonna. So that's still immature stuff. Nobody want to.
I hear
But
what you
we talking
mean,
about.
but I'm talking
Mm,
about being invited into men's spaces and being allowed to hear their grievances and things they actually care about. I'm not talking about surface level stuff.
yeah.
Most men I know and most men I've had the pleasure of meeting and being a part of these things that I've been a part of, because I've done a lot in my life. I have lived a very fulfilling life. Most men don't care. I rarely hear men who actually care outside of the internet.
Care about what?
whether they care about how a woman is dressed, how she presents herself online, or what her body count is. Those are things most men don't care about. Is it freezing for anybody else?
Got booted. There you go.
Yeah, as soon as I ask, then I get kicked. That's crazy. I'm back.
I've also never been in a relationship with a man who cared.
Oh, okay. Should a man care? About what? And what was you talking about again? Because I
I
got kicked
don't
out.
feel like I don't feel like it's wrong for a man to care. I feel like for you to care shows a level of concern for that woman.
We talking about the same thing, right? The clothes and all that.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
for a man to care that's a rare thing. And I do appreciate that, but I think there's a difference in you guys caring and the way you present it. Sometimes it comes off as more of a need to control than it is out of concern. And
Yeah.
I think that's what women are in an uproar about, not that you actually care about who she is, how she presents herself, and how she presents herself when she leaves the house. I think they would take it different if the verbiage you used came off as not trying to control who she is instead of just being concerned for her well-being.
Yeah, I can feel you on that. Like, I believe a lot of men, they be confusing sometimes, and I always said that too, because they always be like, "Well, I'm just with her for the smacks, and I want the other one." It's like, bro, you gotta pick one or the other, man. Yeah, confusing situation, but that's that lack of discipline. I think that's the biggest problem that men have. Because it's like I'm pretty sure we done heard this plenty of times. Nobody wants to make the 304 a housewife. They just never wanted to be known for that. That's always been said since I was young. I think even women heard that stuff. Can't turn out 304 to a housewife and don't do they want to be caught with one. You slept with the street girl.
Well, I grew up in California. Things are a little different here.
They know how to
Because
party though.
those are the housewives now.
And
Yeah, personally, I just remember that 304, like it ain't nothing wrong with them, like, but you just don't want to love one. That's all I remember about 304. And I do remember you can't turn one into a housewife, but I mean, when I seen all of the poll workers that got married, like
they stay married.
Yeah, some of them, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But either way, if they stay married or get a divorce, somebody married them.
Still
You know what I'm saying?
married. I get you though.
They are a ex-wife if they not still a wife. So I just like at a certain point, it just didn't whole make sense to me about turning one into a housewife. And then
Right.
like knowing how I used to get down, like I was a 304 my damn self at one point. So
Yeah.
like I turned into a very fine husband. So like why is it so impossible that the female version of that couldn't? You know what I'm saying? Like why couldn't a wife have a 304 pass? And still be a good wife. If I can be a good husband, you know what I mean? So like
True.
at a certain point, I just kind of shut it off. Like it just didn't make.
I think it's more of what I could see out of it is more of an action that's like or a movement, because you probably not moving like a 304 no more. So because that, like, if you think about it, that wouldn't be possible. It's like when people try to force somebody to change or something like that. Like people try to make thugs stop being thugs as soon as they date them and all that stuff. They get mad because they still stay in a thug. So that's what I think that's what they kind of meaning about that situation. Because like you can, change. I believe in change. You know what I'm saying? You're not stuck. It's like people be saying once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't believe that either. People learn. They might cheat and was young and grew up and got mature and changed their mindset. So it can't be always a cheater. So yeah, stuff like that. I think.
I believe in minding my business.
Because I believe in my what the fuck?
Mhm.
Cuzzo in the building. He said, "That's your box down there." I haven't seen you in that
Yo,
box.
Hey,
What's
I'm not gonna hate on no woman
hey,
that's
yo, what's
doing
up,
it.
De Niro?
the deal, cuz?
what's going on, man? Hey, can y'all hear y'all feedback?
No,
Can I hear our
No,
feedback?
Yeah.
No.
no.
Oh, all right,
It's echoing.
cool. Well, shit, I got y'all connected to the car, so I
Oh,
always
you
thought
talking
Okay.
about
y'all.
feedback off your stuff? Oh, I don't hear. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't hear nothing though. You good?
All right, cool. But yeah, man. So this topic y'all talking about is crazy work because I was literally just telling somebody this. I'm like, our culture, like black people, are really sad. We are very sad because it take for something to happen for people to be outraged, and it's
Facts.
always outraged at other people. We're never outraged at ourselves. Like, for example, it was just a mass pum pum and the Shah. Nobody said nothing. It was just a mass pum pum at a block party in Detroit. All people
Mm.
said was they talked about it for a day and then was like, "Oh, that's why I don't go outside." Well, what happened to that's why we need to, find other things to do for our black men or
Right.
our youth. It's never the same outrage when somebody else pumes, but it's
Mm-hmm.
okay for us
Preach.
to come along and drop. Man, 22 people got hit at that block party. 3 or 4 of them passed away, but nobody saying nothing. It's what,
Mm.
only a week later? Nobody is talking about that. It's crazy.
Shit,
Selective
That's
I hadn't even
that's
heard
outrage,
about
that's
it.
man.
crazy.
Honestly, I hadn't heard about neither one of them. Honestly.
That's sad. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. That's crazy, man. I think every life should be important, and they just pick and choose. And I always been saying that though. I always been saying that, like, no, why do it? It's not to disregard the things that happen, but it's just like, dang, it's like, you know, unaliving is an unaliving, no matter how you want to look at it. We got to treat all that stuff at the same type of energy, man. We should.
You could we can you hear me, Kev? I got my ear.
You,
You hear me?
I can hear you a little bit. You muffled though, but you already know. But I'm gonna work with it. Go ahead.
Okay. I would say the shit that gets me is um I like to put it as I'm gonna set my premise up first, right? Uh, if you have a car, right, and you have a slow leak on one tire and you have a flat tire, which one would you tend to first that would stop you from progressing? The flat tire, right? You can
Right.
always put air into the tire that has the slow leak. Now, here's the selective outrage that I have with our
Dang, I'm
people.
sorry, Shine. I tried that junk. It's too muffled. It's bad. I was trying to. I was like, dang, it's too muffled. Now. I really want to hear what you're saying too.
All right, we better now. We better.
There you go. You good. You
Okay,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now I say we have a difference from you got a flat tire and you have a slow leak. Uh, Which one would people normally work on first? You would pay attention and you would work on the flat tire because that stops you from progressing. You can't even move forward. The slow leak, you can pretty much worry about that last. That's something that you could put air in. The air go out every now and then. You just put some more air in it. It's not going to stop you from moving in life. And that's how I look at the selective outrage with our people as far as uh, when you think about the unaliving that cops do amongst us, I would consider that the slow leak, right? The slow
Right.
leak of that is because it don't happen frequently. It's like something that
Right.
it happens, but it really don't stop too much progress in a sense if you really care about Black lives. Now, the
Right.
flat tire is the unaliving that we do amongst each other that doesn't get the outrage. And if you cared about Black lives, you got to think about which one is taking us out more. And
Mm.
it's not the unaliving of what cops do, it's what we do to ourselves. But
Mm-hmm.
it makes me I'm confused a lot of the times because we only get upset. Like think about how desensitized we are that when unaliving, like you said in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Imagine all you'll see on Facebook if somebody passed away, another black person is R.I.P., rest up, sending prayers up. You don't really see no selective outrage. They kind of understand it. It's kind of like damn near acceptable. But the moment a cop unalive, a YT cop unalive a black person, then it's all of the outrage. I understand that it hurt to see it on video, but there's a lot of videos you see in the communities in the hood where people, innocent kids getting hit and no anything. So I feel like we put all our energy into the flat tire and we don't put our energy into the tire that is actually flat.
That's facts. That's facts. But you can't talk like that nowadays, man. But it is what it is. But it just gotta be. It's like I don't know, man. I just don't understand, man.
But you know, the real problem is we don't like to take accountability. Like,
True.
it's always a reason why something happened that's outside of our fault. And I'm sorry, but slavery gave us the biggest out. So many people now, you still hear people talking about, oh, but they did this to us and it was just so horrible. And I'm like, hold on. I'm sorry, but don't get me wrong. I feel for my people. I honestly feel for my people. But at the same time, y'all do know we wasn't the only ones to ever go through stuff like that, right?
Okay,
Y'all know it was.
I gotta jump
Y'all,
in.
hold on, let me finish though. So we not the only ones to go through stuff like that. You gotta think, it's groups of people that was held in camps and unalived. And then after that stopped, there was people that was being targeted by the size of their nose. Think about that. You walk outside and your nose too damn big, you're about to get unalived. So man, it's so sad because so many people still use, slavery as an excuse to not do nothing, to literally, oh, it's because of them. I can't be successful in life because a bank won't give me a loan. Okay, so how did this other black person that share the same skin and close lineage as you become successful? Did they sit there and cry and be like, oh, I can't do this because I can't get a loan to buy a house? Well, I know a lot of black homeowners, like, so they aliens or something, like they not really black, they shapeshifters or something, like I don't know. It's mind-boggling.
You there basically answer number 2, prompt 2.
Hey, if you let's piggyback on what De Niro said, right? If you pay attention,
You can tell he my cousin, don't you? Can tell.
Yeah, y'all got the same mindset, man. It sound the same. Y'all got different voice. If you pay attention, right? I think that don't get me wrong, racism is a big deal. Don't get me wrong. But how I look at that is you got good and evil, and you can't control evil. I look at racism as just evil. So you can't control evil in this world. It's going to always happen. It's going to always be there. You can't control it. Same way with racism. You just got to get past it, right? But I think we make that the focal point of what we be dealing with. And then if you really sit back and look at it, hold on.
Can I?
Hold on, give me 5.
All right, for sure.
Okay, so I think the issue I have, because I don't disagree with everything he said, but you can't compare every other atrocity that happened to a racial demographic to the... What the hell is this? Oh, somebody sent me some money. So you can't compare it to slavery because, number one, a lot of people aren't even aware of what actually happened in slavery and how bad it actually was, because ours is the only one that has been systemically suppressed to keep us from knowing what actually happened. So a lot of people don't know that slavery was not only worse than the Holocaust, but lasted longer than it did. Because that seems to be the big draw everybody wants to make between slavery and the Holocaust.
I'm scared of that word. I don't know if that's something we could talk about, because I know last time I
I can't say that on TikTok. I'll figure out something else to say. But what we went through was worse than what they went through, and they got reparations for it, and they're not even American. Or like how the Native Americans, did they go through some form of what we went through? Absolutely. Me being a Native American person, I benefit from that because I get paid by the country for being Native American, but I have not received any reparations for being Black. And we can't act like, while there are people who have made it successfully through the system, that we aren't redlined from the access of having success as a community on our own. So yes, you're absolutely right. We need to start holding ourselves more accountable. Yes, we need to start figuring out ways that we can be successful without having to blame anybody else for some of the problems that we have. Absolutely. But let's not sit here and act like that is not something we are still suffering from today, though. Redlining is still very much a real thing. Cop killing is, sorry, got a phone call. It's still very much a real thing. We still suffer every day from things that are systemically passed down from slavery. That is real, and we have a right to complain about it. I don't think it's the complaint that should be the problem. It's the actions behind the complaint that should be the problem.
I can't wait to get to you on number 2, man.
Yeah,
But go ahead, Sean.
let me cook right quick, right? I want to piggyback actually off of what she said, right? I don't believe that we have the right to complain, and this is why. If you grew up in a Black community, or you want to call it a community, or you want to call it the hood, this is one thing I know, and I'm 100% fact on this. Before you ever experience any type of racism from any other race of people, you will be oppressed by your own people in that community. When it comes to gang violence, when it comes to that, if you have to wear a certain amount, you have to wear certain colors. I know in my grandmother's neighborhood, you can't go to certain stores because you got so many people hanging out in front of the store. You don't even feel safe in your own community, yet alone before you start experiencing racism from anybody else outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem that we do have is we act as if we the ones that been through slavery, and we ain't the ones that actually went through slavery. And I think that's our biggest issue is we play the victim game. Now here's my comeback to what she said. If we still experiencing what our ancestors been through, and we didn't actually physically go through what they've been through, but they was able to get further under Jim Crow, under all of these laws and oppression against them, they was able to build a Wall Street. We have all of this freedom, even though people say that we still suffering in a sense. How come we can't get further than them under less restrictions, and they was under more restrictions under Jim Crow and segregation? I don't understand that mindset. On the other part is, we have a problem with respecting our elders. We don't reach back to our elders and get information from our elders. I have an 85-year-old grandmother. She told me a long time ago that when I was in the streets and I was doing dumb stuff, I knew at a young age that I didn't take anything from my own people. I always went across the track and took from other people. It don't make it right, but I had the mindset at 12 and 13, 14 years old that I'm not going to commit crime on my own people because they already have less than. I'm going to go and commit crime on other people that have more than me and not the people that look like me. So I don't understand that whole we only commit crime in a proximity, because no, to me that's a wrong mindset. And a lot of us don't know anything about our own history. And when you sit here and somebody first of all, I think we put too much responsibility on teachers to teach our kids, when I think it's your responsibility as parents to teach your kids about their history. A lot of times we don't even know shit about our history. If you sit here and talk about, let's say we talk about we don't know who we are. Like they say, a lot of people don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from, anything. Number one, first mistake is people do is understand the labels that they put on you as Black people. And if you don't know who you are, you will always be lost in this world. I don't consider myself an African American. And the reason why is I was born in 85. Jesse Jackson came out with that term in 1988. How in the hell can I be older than my own nationality? That don't even make any sense to me. I do research on my own and ask my ancestors and ask my elders the information. My grandmother couldn't vote until she was 24. She still remember this stuff. So when we go around using a stupid word like the N-word, and we try to say, well, we used it for something positive, you don't even know that you slap in the face to your own ancestors. You want to talk about the suffering that we've been through. We are so privileged right now that it used to be a point where YT people could say the N word and nothing happened to them. We have so much freedom now that YT people are getting fired from their jobs because they say the N word. We too damn
Mm.
privileged, man.
My might as well make it 97% now. We lost some points now. Now we almost. You remember saying we 99% don't agree with it. It been on point all this week, man. For the show, preach it. That's facts. That's all I be saying. I say that so dang go much. Even hear my cuz say that, like we all in the same tip with that though. I be tired of it.
Let me
I
finish
be
real quick. I thought I was done, but I got like one more minute, right?
Go do your
Here,
thug thism.
here is the problem that I have for the most part. I think we fail at. I think I know when I was younger, and I think what school do a good job with is once they start teaching you about slavery, they already indirectly teaching you to hate yourself, and they are teaching
Mm.
and they teach white kids that black people are less than, whether it's on purpose or indirectly. I believe that it plays a major part. And then when black kids grow up hearing that, they start to look at themselves as less than, and that's how you have so much hatred towards each other. That I seen in a hood, a YT person can move in the hood and walk around the neighborhood and don't get threatened, don't get unalive, don't get robbed or nothing. But that black person that's walking around with the Jordan zone could get robbed and get things taken from them. How can we get to a point where YT people can move in our neighborhood and don't have no threats towards them, but our own people will threaten them and we'll do something to them, but we won't do nothing to the YT person?
Mm.
That's a mental problem, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody got something
Yeah,
on that?
I just wanted to say he answered his own question and when he was explaining, and the whole issue isn't that we went through slavery or that the other people went through the cost or or the Irish people went through what they went through or the people from the Middle East went through what they went through. Like that, it's mindset, and enough people haven't made their mind up to do something to make that change other than talk about it. So the change isn't happening, and the change isn't going to happen until people decide that I want something different, and I'm not going to sit around and wait for somebody to bring that difference to me. I'm going to go out here and be that difference, make that difference, create that difference. That you're going to start seeing that change, and you're going to start seeing them Wall Streets popping back up, and you're going to see like you got little Italy, you're going to have little Africa, you know what I'm saying? That's when you're going to start seeing a change. But right now it's not enough people on the train or on the boat or in the car, on the plane. It's not enough. So the people that's on it, you got to figure out how to talk to people that ain't into getting on it. Even if it's just little small groups, like we got to do something. If it's 10 small groups that add up to $1 million in revenue, like who ain't gonna listen to that? If them 10 groups can come up with 5 things to present to a governor, who ain't gonna listen to them?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a million spending in 10 little groups of people who like they can go because they together and they got a list of things that they want something done about. I mean, if they smart, they'll put about 30 things on there and really highlight and press the motherfuckers about 7 or 10 or 15 of them. You know what I'm saying? But where the groups that's really out here doing it, or who the people with the money that's out here doing that? Oh, my bad. So you got Jay-Z and Diddy was doing it for a while. You know what I'm saying? He was getting what he wanted out of the money that he had. But yeah, outside of them, like why the question that boggles me and that I haven't figured out yet is why people can't why why it can't be five people that get together, get a plot of land and turn it into a farm and then start feeding people with organic shit? Why can't be why can't be 10 people that get together and buy a factory and fill it um with stuff to make clothes, jeans, shirts, khakis, shorts, socks, drawers? Why? Like I don't. I get lost because I get upset and then I lose my train of thought. But like it's so many different industries of things that we need, but everybody want to be a nail tech. Everybody want to be a travel agent. Everybody want to sell you insurance. Everybody want to, like everybody want to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And it's like you can make the same bread making drawers, but you so hyper focused on this thing over here that you miss the opportunity. And I just be trying to talk to people about it. I just, like no matter what, we always gonna need trash man. We always gonna need a janitor. We always gonna need somebody to cook. We always gonna need somebody to wash clothes. Like it ain't no way around it. Or we gonna have to do that shit our damn self. So like, why not capitalize on these industries and do it for the collective? You know what I'm saying? Like that would, to me, that would be unity. That would be pooling our resources, because that if we can do that enough times, then our money will cycle back through us a couple times before we have to send it out. And that's how you build wealth. But who gonna do it with me? You know what I'm saying? Who gonna do it with you, Kev? Who gonna do it with you, Sean? Slimmy, CC, Naya. Who gonna do it with y'all? Like it's doable by yourself, but the scale that you do it on, like you might be straight, but who would you bring along with you? And that's the thing. If everybody get on and bring one person with them, how long? I mean, that it might take a little longer than if you brought 2, 3, 5 people on with you. But you bring one person, and then that one person's goal or task after they done made it is go out and get one person. Like, I mean, granted, it'll take some time, but we'll be there. Did I answer the question? But oh yeah, I remember. Sean, like you answered it in your thing when you was talking. It's not all those things. It's mindset, and people got to get the right mindset to get going the right way. Oh damn, I said that already. Kinda. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. Y'all got it.
What you was answering? It was something he had asked.
Well, yeah, he was talking, and then he had said, something, and like people got to change their mindset. But and then he went on to a different topic and kept talking, and really the answer to everything that he said is mindset. And the sooner we get everybody's mindset going, a similar upward trajectory, the better off collectively we'll be.
Okay. Go ahead. I think it's Slimmy, and then I see you on. Sim, you next. I see you just unmuted. Go ahead, Slimmy.
Maybe it's because I'm a woman and I'm a little bit more emotionally attached to the topic. I can admit that. But I feel like often when other people in other marginalized groups have gone through what their people have gone through, they're not told to get over it. They're not told to shut up about it. They're not told that they can't feel any type of way about it because it happened so many years ago. Also, a lot of them also aren't still reaping the repercussions of those situations from those so many years ago. They're benefiting from it now by, like I said, me being Native American, I get an extra $2,000 a month from the government just for being Native American. Black people don't get that for what they went through. So it's like, while I understand that at some point you do have to let it go, you do have to move on, it's different when you go through that. You're still suffering from something that your ancestors went through. And then you're trying to find a way to make it better while acknowledging that this is still something that's prevalent in today's culture. And then you're being told to shut up about it. And it's like, we are taught to, I feel as a people, we are taught more so how to sweep things under the rug. I feel like we raise our children under the same rhetoric that masters kept us under so many hundreds of years ago. I think that there's a lot of behavior that has to be unlearned that we are not willing to unlearn because that has been our way of life for the last 500 years. It's more to it to break it than that. And while, yes, I do agree that we are at a time and place where we don't have Jim Crow laws, we don't have segregation. Okay, cool. But when you mention things like Black Wall Street, what happened to them? Or when you think about Central Park, that's an entire thriving Black community that was eradicated to put a park there because somebody just wanted a park there. Lake Lanier, it's a reason we're not supposed to go swimming in that lake. Those are the consequences of us trying to gain success and getting it and doing it without their help when we're on one accord. So it's like, at what point do we still acknowledge that that also is a problem? I'm not saying that we should just, absolve everything. I think at some point we have to acknowledge that it's still a problem. It's still a thing. If we're going to be able to do this and get on everybody on one accord and say, okay, then we're going to rebuild our own Black Wall Street, what are we going to be able to do to keep what happened the last time from happening this time as well? Because it's obvious that's still happening.
Can I ask you this before? I think it's CC Sim. This is where I keep saying the mindset. I understand that people say it happened a long time ago. I get that, right? But it just for me, it reminds me of when somebody say, "Hey, what time the Lakers play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we play tonight." And they be like, "Who the hell is we? You ain't on the team." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't on the Lakers. When it come to us, it's the fact that we keep using it. You say CC is okay, cool. CC. I think it's the point of, I think when we abuse it too much and get to a point where people like, man, you know what? Okay, I think out of frustration, they be like, well, it happened a long time ago. Like, you didn't go through such and such. Because I think we use it too much only to make, like, for the most part, people, we raise our kids. And this is where my mom made a mistake and my grandmother stopped her. And that's when I changed my mindset. My mom was raising me and she was preparing me for racism. She didn't give me no tools to how to beat it. She was preparing me to accept that I'm a Black man in America, and she was forming me to be in a docile state and to just accept that I'm a Black man. I would be judged based upon my height, my skin color, all of those things. My grandmother stopped her and said, "Hey, don't you teach that boy that. You teach that boy that no matter what comes his way, he overcome it. If somebody don't want to give you a job, you keep applying for jobs until you get what you want. Don't let no one close the door on you." And I feel like a lot of times I have a nonprofit organization called Men. If y'all get a chance, look it up on Facebook, Men Motivated Men. It's me and 5 other dudes, and we help like 40 unprivileged Black kids that's in our group, right? And one thing I've noticed is when we go to those city hall council meetings and everything that's in our community, we don't see our people show up. Our people don't give a damn about what's going on in the community. They don't know that you got to go down there and vote for restaurants to come in your community. They don't care. On another part, when it comes to us uplifting and trying to get money to throw events, we put our own money into it at first, and then we start asking like, "Hey, man, we all working men, we all married. We need some financial support to help with the Juneteenth event, all these events where we rent out the bowling alley once a month." so all the kids could come and have fun and have drinks and just bond with each other. Guess what the black people start saying in our community? Oh, they just want donations. They just want our money. We used our own money, damn near went broke. When we start asking for help in the community is not willing to help. We got all of our donations from YT people. Why do I need to go to YT people to help benefit something in our community and our own community not willing to help? Until I can see black people, until I can see black people in those city hall meetings and understanding, like going down there protesting as far as like this is what we need in our community, we would never change. I feel like that has nothing to, we have the right to vote, we have the right to go down to these places, but we choose not to. That's my issue, is we choosing not to go down there and know what's going on in our community. And then my last point is, I've never, and I'm 6'7". I've never in my life experienced a white person come up to me and say, hey, you N-word or you such and such. But when I get on these platforms, you know, YT people will say that type of stuff, right? But I think what black people need to understand is the media do a good job. Like, let's think about it. And I'm a land. We too big on hypocrites, right? If a YT person got on a song and started saying the N-word is this, the N-word is that, we would be in an outrage, right? But we have no problem with our rappers calling YT people the cracker word. We have no issue. Plies said in his songs all the time. All these rappers call YT people slurs all the time, and we sing it and we have no problem. But when a YT person says the same thing that a black person saying in the song, we want to be outraged. We spend too much resources and energy into the things that will not affect us at all, and the things that will help us change, we put no energy into it. You know why? Because it's easier to stay complacent and to complain. It takes a lot of work and effort and mindset to do work and try to make progress. And I feel like a lot of times our people just want to talk and they don't want to do shit.
Right.
I don't think calling a white person a cracker has the same impact as being called a nigga. That's my personal.
Hold on, let me ask this. If a YT person say that a redneck and cracker is offensive to them, who are we to say that it's not offensive to them? Because it was an offensive word. It wasn't used in a good term.
Well, to be fair, the term
Yeah, because that's a
cracker,
bias that you just did right there.
I'm not saying it wasn't biased. I said it was a personal opinion. But just like the term redneck, but that's one they created for their own people.
Okay, let me say this and I'm gonna let somebody else go. I work with a bunch of Hispanics, right? And I hear them all the time call each other WB. I don't want to say the word, but you know, they call each other WB. Everybody know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that don't give me the right to say it. Just how we be hypocrites when we say, we could say the N-word and we'll try to say, well, we change it to where it means something positive. So if that's the case, how come YT people can't use it when they talking to their black friends? If it's something positive and we changed it and they don't have ill intent, how come when they use the word, it's offensive, but when we use the same word, it's not? And another thing, and I'm gonna land. If the B word is so offensive, tell me how, if a man call a woman the B word, it's hell on wheels. But y'all could call each other that and it still has the same meaning, and there's no outrage on that. So I just need us to be more conscious as far as what we're gonna stand on and what we're not gonna stand on. We can't be selective with outrage on certain things.
The question shouldn't be whether or not it's okay for them to say it, though. The question should be, if they know where it came from and they know how it was used and they know how it affects people, why do they want to say it so bad?
Okay, hold on. Watch this.
The same reason we want to say it.
Thank you. We need to ask ourselves if we know where it come from and we know what our ancestors went through and suffering and unalived because of that word. Why do we want to use it? You see what I'm saying? Why would we want to use it?
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt real quick, but I don't want the live to get, the narrow camera on, and if they catch that, which you
put a green screen
Yeah,
on.
that was the same thing I was about to say.
around.
With them
and you on camera.
I just want to look out for the live. But the conversation was good. I just want to look out though. That's it.
Yeah, if you driving, they'll take you down. I think if they see you driving on camera.
Dang, that's crazy. I ain't never had that happen.
But I see them driving all the time,
I,
so I ain't never
I don't
seen
know.
a
I
live
was
I
video.
mean,
Sometimes
I
they
listening to
point
like,
the camera
somebody
out
get
I
towards the
mad
mean,
road
on
sometimes,
Banana
but
this morning. Okay. I was
oh,
just
to each his
listening.
own. But yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
oh, they being
It's
selective
cool. It's
outrage too,
cool. Y'all
TikTok.
right. Y'all right. I'll go ahead, cover my face up. Y'all trying to say I'm ugly as hell. It's cool. My feelings
That's
hurt.
crazy.
Say
We're just
no,
trying to
I'm joking.
protect you, my brother.
I mean, things are colloquially
Nah, you
accepted
can put a
how they
green
are
screen on and still
colloquially
put your face
accepted.
on.
Hey, but I would
I
like
don't even
somebody
know
to
how
answer
to
that though,
do all
Kev.
that.
I would like
Oh,
somebody to answer that one. That if we know what our
Because there's
ancestors
still a
been through,
difference, though. That's
huh?
just like you're right. When I wouldn't call a Jewish person the K word, or I wouldn't call a Mexican a WB. I would not do any of that. But if they choose to use that amongst themselves or not, that's fine because that's their way of reclamation, which is a way of them understanding they're taking something back, whether you agree with it or not. The same thing with the N word. Not every Black person agrees you should be using it, and that's fine. But it's different for a Black person to have that level of reclamation and a white T person to say it because at the end of the day, whether they want to admit to it or not, they only want to say it due to the outrage they know it's going to cause, not because they feel like it genuinely should just be okay. No,
Okay, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this
literally
question.
that dense.
Uh, if do you think it was wrong for them to have restrooms that just say YT only?
I'm pro segregation, so
Okay. I see what you
oh
saying.
my.
Okay, okay, it makes sense. Okay, I see where you're coming from.
So
My
can
point.
oh my fault. I thought
Oh
you
no, go ahead. You go ahead.
because what y'all saying on this, it kind of remind me of a situation I was put in with a YT woman accidentally saying the word in front of me. I was on my first day on the job, but the problem was the music that the boss put turned on. It was which beat maker his whole song come in with Young on the track, right?
You know she been saying about herself.
Listen,
Right.
so the boss looked at me because I had turned real quick, but I was like, it made me sit down and think. Regardless if they don't say it out loud, she's saying in her head.
Right.
So it's a thing of it for me. I try to stay away from the word more. The fact of the true definition of the true word they use mean ignorant, and it's kind of like, ooh, we still call each other ignorant and we call each other that.
Right.
But
Google.
it's a for me it's a deeper thing because it's like if we didn't like it when they said it to us, I understand you can change the definition of a word, which I don't understand at the same time because how we gonna change a definition
Right.
to something?
It's like we eat chitlins. That was
I
supposed to be
don't.
for
I mean,
scraps and the worst
we
Stay
part
do
off
to
it
my
all
eat.
the
Now we're
time
chitlins,
with
making
Mr.
fun
slang.
out
Kev.
of it. That don't make sense.
I'm not
Stay
gonna
off my
lie.
chitlins, Mr. Kev. You know I like them chitlins with that hot
I
sauce and
Oh
that vinegar.
my
I
god.
don't do
Delicious,
that.
but I'm also not gonna lie and say they nasty.
That's like
I
the worst. We not even supposed to be eating pig, and then we gonna eat their intestines. It's like we
hold on.
asking to unalive ourselves.
Once
That's
I found out what
crazy.
they were, I stopped eating them. I didn't know I was a kid, but when my mom would make them, they was good as hell.
Yeah, my
Was
people
so
never made it.
good with them peppers in it.
My
Ooh,
people,
Gosh,
my
they
people
slap
ain't
them
gotta
never
biscuits.
made it.
no.
But I
I'd
will say
rather
this.
say that
Go ahead.
that's worse than
I got a
saying the N
question for
word.
y'all. I got a question for y'all. So, is using the N word a culture thing or the color of your skin thing?
The culture
Mm.
thing.
Okay. I'm so
But
glad
I
you
think
said
it
that,
goes
right?
hand in hand with it being a color
So,
thing as well.
okay, but there are certain white tea people that grow up within our culture. So, do that make it okay if they use it?
No?
I like that you
Why,
said that. There you go.
I was
man?
about to say
That's
he did the
exactly
Sean. We went through
why I
all
like
three of us be doing
why.
them setups. That'd be funny.
See, and that's the hypocrisy of
Okay.
the whole
It's not
thing.
hypocrisy because I could grow up in Mexico and that's not gonna make me Mexican. I'm still Black.
But I guarantee you, you will be able to use certain slangs that they use because they will consider
Necessarily.
you more of them than what they see. They not gonna look at it. Oh, you being racist. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they not gonna look at you as being like, oh, you being racist, right? Because
Me
they
being
know
a Black
that you
person, they
have
are
no
though.
ill intent. So that's why I'm like, okay, certain people can say it. Just like, okay, what if a the black people that act YT. We call them Carltons. That's a bad thing. But then a YT person act urban, we think they hip. A lot of our women are attracted to them and stuff like that. That's why I think it's just hypocrisy.
I
We've
don't
been
think
talk.
it's
That's
the
all
same
we've been
thing
talking
because
about
if
all
you
this.
think about it,
Forward.
like when you go to other countries, because I've been to a few, right? Even the people that grow up in that culture or that community,
That's
if
gonna be
they
my
are
third, my new question. I'm gonna add that
visibly
on it.
if they are visibly other as in a different ethnicity, they still don't have the same privileges like you're assuming they would. Like if like I have friends who are Afro Latino, right? They grew up in Mexico. They are very much black, but they are also Mexican. But they're treated differently because they're black. They're not allowed to say the same things. They're not allowed to partake in some of the same cultures. They kind of have a lot like American black people where they've had to cultivate their own culture within that culture. So it's not as black and white as you're making it.
Hey, Kev, let me say this, and this is only for people who believe in the book. This is only for them. This,
What do
if
you mean by the book? It's a lot of books.
okay, the Bible. I'm just trying.
Oh,
Anybody
okay.
who have like a religious belief, right?
Mhm.
I think we so caught up in skin color, we think that skin color makes you that person or make you close to like if we call ourselves black, and we think that just because we see another black person that they should have the same ideals as us and they should be on the same page as us. But when you go to Africa, they all the same color and different colors and shades, but they go by tribes. It ain't about no skin color over there. When I went to Jamaica, it ain't about no skin color over there. All of them Jamaicans, no matter what color you are, they consider you Jamaican. And if you go back to the Bible itself, we get so lost in color that the Bible tell you that stuff don't matter. As far as
Right.
it say that we are in Numbers. It say that your pedigree is decided by the house of your father. Whatever your father is, according to the Bible, that's what you are. So when we look at Bob Marley and then have you with a different perspective on life, if you look at Bob Marley, you would say that he's a black man, a so-called black man. But if you go to according to the scriptures, if
She's
you
a white
believe in
man.
that, Bob Marley is considered a white man according to the scripture because his father is a YT man and his mother is black. So we get lost in this skin stuff that we be lost. Like I feel like skin plays a major part in the division that we have today.
I think it does too. I mean, I've been in situations where people have like commented on my pictures, like squinting harder to see if she's black enough to say the N word. So I get that. I think colorism is real.
And I think you was talking about it in Mexico. If I read, I think it was like 10 years ago, where I think it was called, it's a certain group, I think it was Afro Latino. Yeah, they were just considered citizens. Maybe I want to say maybe 5 or 10 years ago in between. They were
Right.
and they was they was oppressed in their own country, right? So I definitely agree with that, but I think we get so lost in like and another part is it's not only skin color, it's people don't know like where they come from, like their descendants. Like when it get to a point where
It's rare.
I was talking to this Hispanic dude and I was like, bro, I said, do you know why you speak do you know why you speak Spanish? He was like, nah. I said, you ever wonder why a lot of Hispanics are damn near white complected? He was like, nah. I said, because before Africans was over here in enslavement, they took the Taino Indians and so-called, I say Native American, that's a name that YT people gave them, but they took like a certain tribe from the the Taino Indians, and they went over there to Spain, and that's why they speak Spanish. That is a YT man language. It's not the original language of the so-called Spanish people, and a lot of Spanish people don't even know that, and that's their history. It's not even mine.
I do kind of want to piggyback on something that Sean said and kind of include what Gemini said earlier about about it's kind of hard for us in our community to build businesses, and it's kind of crazy how one of Kevin questions include family, because I feel like this. Me and my family, we do have a family business, and we tried to connect to make our community bigger and connect with other family. For example, we have family who have farms, and we was like, hey, if we do this for the family, put this away, do this and that, let's do it. We got the plan out, stuff like that. Let them add in their ideas. They don't want to do it, but it'll help the community. But if we call up my uncle up, well, he YT, we call him up, he ready to do it. Why is that? Like it's kind of like we want to grow. We want, in our community. It's kind of you do like how Sean said within his nonprofit. You have the idea, you have this and that, but you reach out to your community. It's nothing bad, but you go to the YT people, they ready to help out at times.
And you ever try when I believe that we do have a form of and it's gonna be stretching it, but it's just my beliefs. I believe that I think Slim says she's like Native American, right? I believe that we have got some form of reparations in a sense. It don't come with money, but it come with you could go with what's the other one? Affirmative action. Like you have certain things that when it comes to election time, even though we are the I want to say the smallest of the groups, our vote is very important. You ever notice how whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat,
They pander for the black vote.
they always pander to the black vote because the black people make up the American culture. That is the number one thing that people don't realize. So we have a lot of power. We have a lot of power in America, and I think we just don't know. I feel like a lot of black people don't know how to use it the correct way. And knowledge of yourself plays a major part in that. And if you don't know knowledge of self, I believe that you could be lost in the system.
Because just like you said, with us having the most political power, so one of my degrees is actually in economics, specifically in Black economics. So we have the most powerful dollar out of every other racial community, but
Hey yo,
our
may I
dollar
say
actually.
something?
Can you hold on a second?
May I
But
say something?
go ahead.
Oh, so long, bye bye.
All right, go ahead.
Well,
You got that
so
quick.
while we have the most powerful currency in the world, our currency stays in our community less than 3 minutes.
Mm.
It only takes a Black person 3 minutes to spend $1. We don't invest in ourselves anymore. We don't. I think we're comfortable in pity.
And just imagine, just think about if we got reparations, right? Think about how crazy this sounds.
Well, they're
Even
doing it
if-
in California
Yeah, I know they're doing it in California. Yeah, I don't know if it started it or they already done it, but
next
If
year
they're doing it for the same reason you just said.
okay. Right, and here, this is how it
because
plans
they
out.
know they're gonna get that money right back.
Yes, and this is what me and Jim was saying earlier, right? It's about a mindset. Now, imagine you give us all of this money, and this is what we do even with our own Black businesses, right? And we don't understand it. And I feel like if you understand economics and how things work, and as far as how much the dollar circulate in the community, you will have a deeper compassion for Black businesses, right? We always want a discount when they come to our own. Like I remember going to a Black business. I'm like, damn, it was my wife was trying to get some type of body cream, body butter, and like essential oils, right? And she was like, why are they so expensive? They more expensive than the Arab person at the beauty supply store, right? And I
Who
had
said
to
that?
tell her, huh?
Oh, I don't know if we can say that.
Oh, okay, my bad. And I had to tell my wife that it's because we don't, like, when you starting out a business like that, you don't have the funding or the backing, like as far as like, and your customers is very limited. You ever notice when it comes to Black businesses, it's only a certain group of people that go in those businesses. It may be Black or it may be Hispanic people. That's the only two primary people that you're gonna get in your Black businesses. But when you go to you open up a Asian business or any kind of other restaurant, a Hispanic business, all type of race of people go in those businesses. So they could pretty much lower their prices because they have more customers of all different races of people. Black people, we have to start out somewhere as far as our price being kind of expensive because we don't have all those different races of people coming in supporting our businesses. But the Black people, we don't look at it that way. We be like, you know what? They too expensive. They should be giving us a discount. I'm gonna go over here and spend my money at some other club, and it's people that don't give a damn about it.
Yeah, I wanted to say a little bit about that too. Mr. Valdez, I think that's the name that's in the comments. He was saying something like, we spend all of our money to the YT stores, but I wanted to say that that's not necessarily true because of the fact that we would do a little bit. Well, at one point in time, let me say that we were doing Rockefeller. The black stores and black people that come up, we are spending money on that too. It's just like the media would tell us that these African American stores are they're no good, or they're like they would give us the spin around like, oh, they're no good, they're spending your money on this and that, and it's all this rah rah rah. But then when you hear the same thing about Michael Kors, well, not Michael Kors, what was that? Tommy Hilfiger. You hear the same thing about Tommy Hilfiger, but you still got,
And you
brothers
want to
and
know
sisters
what's so
still buying
funny?
it.
Tommy Hilfiger never said that.
Yeah, but like it's like you hear, like I said, you hear certain things about these, and then still buying it, and it's like uh it's not even just with the white tea. Like I said, it's with the black tea too. It's the rich. It's just the rich, and everybody wants to be involved with the rich. But when you have your local people that's trying to come up, that's trying to sell the goods and say, "Hey, I made this homemade and did this," everybody's like, "Nah," because it's not popular. It's not kicking. It's not popping. But let it start kicking and popping, and everybody gonna be on it. Like, "Oh, I need it. I want it." Just because it's not kicking and popping, nobody want to get it. So
And
it's like it's not even just about the fact that it's the white tea. It's just
and
what's kicking and what's popping.
and the other issue that we have outside of I think the main issue is we so big on we the only group of people in as far as my knowledge, we always try to take away somebody's blackness. Like I don't know I don't know any race of people
Well,
that does that. Like, what do you feel? Why do you feel the need to? And I feel like we oppress each other in a sense where just because I'm black, I don't have to like. Could you imagine? Most of the time, we see a black person and we see that person is a Republican. The first thing black people tend to do is, oh, here Uncle Tom, here a coon, here a sellout. Why I have to be just like you? Why I can't be separate? Why I can't have my own identity? You are doing to me.
Preach.
You are doing to me what you say YT people do to us. We don't have our own mind. So and I feel like anytime a black person deviate from the normal standard of what America or black culture say we should be, we demonize them. We call them names. We question their blackness. We say you're not part of the community. We're gonna take your black card. We are the only group of people that does that, and we have and at the same time, let's not talk about before we get to racism. We got to speak on a colorism. First of all, that's a big old thing in our damn community. And before we all start talking about racism, you have to address colorism. We are so caught up in. I remember at one point when I was growing up. I'm 39. I remember light skinned dudes was the it factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, couldn't nobody tell, like, light skinned dudes with the wavy hair and all that stuff, them boys got all the girls, right? Now, dark skinned dudes, it's our turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, we reigning now. But we have this thing where if a black man this how messed up we are as far as colorism. And I feel like racism to me is the last thing. It wouldn't be the last thing, but it's kind of like it's not at the beginning of the list as far as what we need to change. This is how messed up we'll be. If a dark-skinned person takes a picture and they take a picture to where maybe they squinching their eyes or they looking away and something like that, you know what we'll say? Oh, you got that light. You taking a light
Like the
skin.
light skin, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what kind of shit is that?
Right.
Yeah, I understand that. For me, being
Only
light
us, man.
skinned
Only us. This is
and
crazy.
dating darker skinned men, like it was like, oh, you like the light skin, you like the fair, and I'm like, it's not what it seems to be. You come to my family reunion, they all dark skinned. I just happen to be light skinned. Like, that's just my genetics. I apologize, but they all dark skinned. Like, oh, you like the light skinned girls. You want to be with the. It's like it ain't even like that. Like, that's why I was saying in the comments, like, colorism that bothers me. It was one lady who had a live that was talking about, you paper bag or whatever. And that bothered me. And I wanted to jump on her panel, but I was like, I'm not going to do that because it's not worth it to be, talked down upon because I was looking at other girls that was going up there. I'm not argumentative, but it's just like, stop it because that hurts. Like, to me personally, I'm not the one to look at a darker skinned African American and say, oh, you're darker skinned. I love, if I could trade places, trust and believe, girl, you can have me, I had you. Because I just feel like, for me personally, looking as a light skinned African American woman, there are certain things I'm like, I wish I was darker, because these marks, these scars wouldn't show up, I feel like, as if I was darker. So it's like we all have insecurities, but you don't have to bring down one African American woman to
Right.
bring up the other African American woman. That's not fair and that's not right. Like, I apologize for whatever you've been through, but it's not fair. I had my fair share of women looking at me and then, like, in a down way, and it's like, oh, you think you're pretty because you're light skinned? No, ma'am, I don't. I don't.
If you pay attention to the comment, this is what I mean by not knowing your history, right? You got I don't know his name, but I'm assuming that he's Hispanic, right? The Valdez dude, right? He said that's
Sure.
because black people culture was stripped from them during slavery. That's why I feel like if and I feel like this is where we have a problem, that we don't know our history, right? When black people first came here, okay, you Latino, my bad. When we first came here, if you pay attention to the history, they got a thing in the Houston Chronicle. That's the newspaper in Houston. I think it was like 1890 something. They had a article about this black man walking down the street speaking Hebrew. Now, mind you, we just got freed in 1865. They got this black man walking down the street speaking Hebrew, right? And then when you go to the first church that black people founded in America, on the back of the pews was what? It was written in Hebrew. And if you know our true history, what do people say when they working you like a dog? What's the first thing black people say? You working me like a what?
Slave.
Like a what kind of slave they say? You ever heard of
Hebrew.
I know in the South we say working me like a Hebrew slave. Our history is right in our face, but we don't pay attention to it.
Now, can I ask? I do want to ask Sims a question. Oh,
Before you ask that question, I just thought, because I did want to try to squeeze that, but I was thinking about that. Even with that, right? What everybody was talking about, right? And then when we say things like this, I noticed like some of the times the comeback it's the mindset is that they put. I mean, and I ain't goes not like that. No, it's the people, the way they did our minds, right? So okay, yeah, I feel it, right? I can feel it, and I will agree with that. But it's just like, what's the point of people saying stuff like that? What is basically for us to shut up and not bring awareness to what's going on, because it's gonna wake somebody up. Why we just can't flat out just say that it's just people that don't want to change, even when basically even what Deshaun said, even when the truth is in front of you, still don't want to change. Basically, you know, so you got the information. I'm telling you the information. I'm telling you what's going down. That's just like a person like I be hearing people that they be like, they put the liquor stores here and all this other stuff. So it's, you know, what's the deal? Where the heck is Jane come from out of nowhere? What's I ain't seen you in a while? What's up? They put the liquor stores. They set us up, and okay, now that we know that, right? I'm kind of basically answering that question. Like, basically, it's going to number 2 right here. How long we gonna keep using the root cause before it's become better? We're gonna keep saying the same exact thing. That's the whole point of us talking about it now. But it be seeming like that people, they want us to shut up and stop talking about it, or they just want to stay in their mode. Whatever I'm gonna just say, a victim mode, right? They just want to stay in it, because it's like, I understand. Okay, we said it. Oh, the excuse is, or the reason is, them people have made our brains be that way and all that stuff. Cool. Okay, now that we got that right, so let me continue talking. Like, before you interrupted me and said that, let me continue talking so I can wake up the messed up brains that we saying that's out here. That's the whole point. It's obvious some of us escape, right? So that's the reason why we're voicing ourselves out and speaking on these things. So it's up to people to take in what we're saying, and if they want to change from that, now that they know, then go from there. So I never understood why people keep saying that. It started from the root. It started from the root. Okay, how many times we going to keep using it? So we about to get some of it on that. But go ahead, Naya. You got that.
I want
Sean,
to say.
I ain't know.
I was.
I think Sean might be adding on this because you said you about to ask a question though, so that might shift the whole thing.
It's gonna be quick now. It's gonna be quick. I used to believe that, right? They put such and such in our community. But that was until, like I said earlier, how I started getting involved in the community. No stores come in the community without having a vote. You just can't come and just say, hey, I want this business. You have to go down to the city hall, the council, and all those different things, and they have voting, and they vote on what's best to have in the community. Once I realized, I live in a small town, it was nothing but Mexican restaurants, right? I said, damn, why they get all these goddamn restaurants? Ain't no black restaurants. You know why? Because they going down there voting for this stuff. Black people ain't down there voting. So they not just in our community. They are voting to put these things in, and black people are not down there willing to change and vote against it.
No, I'm a double on that.
Man, we got to switch. It might be Boy, you
Yeah,
don't,
it's good, but I'm
I
gonna
don't
say
think we
this.
disagree that much. Boy.
I'm gonna double down on that and ask my question. Within my it's this dude named Sylvester Warren. That man talk crazy and expose you on the stand in front of everybody. And even expose the commissioners while he talking at the city council. They'll talk bad about that man. I said, but the difference is, although he talked bad about that man, but at least he's there. I said, all of us black folks is up under this Facebook page talking about how he act up there, but he's there fighting for something. That's the big difference. But I do want to ask Sims this, or if anybody know, in general, when y'all hear about lives that's discrimination or about our community, how many views is it? And it's a good bit, ain't it? It's a good bit at the time.
Yeah, it's not a lot. Yeah.
You said what?
You said how many people are in the lives when you talk about discrimination and stuff?
Especially against each other.
Yeah, it be like, okay, so like the one that I saw, it was a lot of people in there. So yeah, I'll say that certain ones, yeah, it's a lot of people that be in there. So I don't be in the hopscotch lot. Sometimes I come across them, but I think what you're saying, yes, ma'am, I believe that it'd be a lot of people in there whooping around. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes our problem within, especially depending on what live is within our own selves in our community, is clout. We do anything for some money real quick. At times, especially with this social media stuff, especially how many skits being made about how the black community. It's like at this point, I can't be mad at someone on the TV. We paying ourselves in those skits to do that. I can't even tell if it's a real life situation or if it's fake, and we do that not, if I don't want nobody getting offended, but the particular people do that every day, and it doesn't help nothing other than put money in their pockets. So
Hey,
we'd rather,
oh no, go ahead. My bad.
we'll rather make ourselves look bad for money in public all the time, can't determine. And then not only that, we have platforms that still play the same video, don't know if it's fake or not, blame each other, playing tag you did this, tag, push, shove, freeze tag, to get the same person attention instead of not giving them attention. I don't get that part. I don't. At this point, I'm like, treat them like a toddler. Come on now. What we
And
do
and
when toddlers keep doing the same thing and want to laugh? We stop saying
Right.
something.
and when you speak on clout, just imagine this. I'm gonna give it from a man perspective. Then I'm gonna do the woman thing, right? Just imagine me as a man, and when I talk about clout, I'm on this app telling men they need to do better and uplift themselves and stop doing this and stop doing that, right? But then I get off this damn app and start listening to music that's talk about black men unaliving each other. That's hypocrite, right? Okay, so imagine me as a woman on this app calling men misogynistic and red pilled, and I get off and start listening to Chris Brown. Come on,
Hey,
man.
but what? Look, Mr.
That's,
Shondo, can I
that's
can I
backwards.
can I interject right quick? Okay, so now look, you
That
done
was a
spoke
fair
to
fight and she lost.
look, you done spoke to my soul on that one. Cause look, now I would say the same thing,
It's a
but to
cognitive
me the
dissonance.
difference is that I'll do what I'm doing in the privacy of my home, and in the privacy and with my spouse. I'm not about to go out there and like the music is okay. The music, I'm not gonna say the music is okay because some of it I ain't getting down with, but like certain things cause for certain events, so I would do as such. Now I like certain music, but anyways, it's a difference between going out there in the middle of the street and hopscotch dropping and twerking than being in my home behind closed doors and doing it with my spouse. So I don't know.
Okay,
I know that's what you were saying,
okay.
Mr.
Let
Soul.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I can counter that. I'm gonna say once again, it's all about the mind, right? So this where it's called. People call it got the thing called guilty conscience, right? If imagine you going out speaking on something that you don't like and you adamant on, okay, I think this is wrong, but it's just like me getting on this app talking about how good my marriage is and all of this stuff, and then behind closed doors, me and my wife is having a horrible time. Eventually, your guilty conscience should be like, you know what? That's wrong. Like, how can I practice? How can I be on this app talking about healthy marriages, and in reality, I'm going through a horrible marriage right now. I'm a horrible person. It don't line up. Your beliefs and your
I
actions.
think,
Yeah, I
as
think I
I think
understand
about it,
that
right?
song that
I
said
think I
practice
get
what
what
you
you mean, and I
preach.
think it's a lot of people do that though. A lot of people do that, and I've experienced some people like that, right? They literally, like, I was even talking about like the people that be knowing all about the Bible and all type of stuff, right? But then it's like I mean, and they good at telling somebody else that, right? They put them in the fire, all this other stuff. But it's that accountability thing, right? It go back to when it's back to self. Then it's like more of an excuse. It's more of a, it's just like people can stick their chest out when it comes out and say they. And I'll be hearing, just like I was talking about that topic, which we're gonna run that back tomorrow though with the healing, right? Like everybody know what what it takes to heal, or take other people, or tell other people how to heal and all this other stuff, right? But then like the next like sentence, you see them cussing people out, going berserk, can't control, you know what I'm saying, and matching people energy and all this other stuff. And it's like, hold up, how you going? You know all these right things, but you're not living up to what you talk about. That's why I'm big on that practice what you preach stuff, because it's like everybody got that excuse when it come to them and stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's just like, and I think they call that I think I just learned that word, like it's kind of cognitive dissonance, or it's just basically being back to that hypocritical stuff, right? When you just want to tell somebody one thing, I stand on this, and then live something else. So it's like sometimes it just be what's the other word to it? Basically, it's like putting on the front, because I don't even believe that some of them panders, I don't think they really like that. I think they just say this stuff on this app. Because I just can't see them getting ran over by it, unless some of them probably do that. Some people done did some horrible things to their wife, and now they decide to be panders and all this stuff. So I can see that too. But, for the most part, I think some of them just trying to win, same thing like some of these, when they talk about certain things, whatever. I think they just trying to win the crowd over, but they not really living it for real. You can pull their card quick.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Mr. Kev. I mean, and like, cause to me, see, that's why I don't get into too deep into politics or the Bible thumping, because of the fact that I feel like, yes, I feel like I'm a Christian, but who am I to tell one person what they should do and follow and everything else, when I know that I fall short of the glory every day. Like, I'm not perfect, so I'm not about to tell you that you should do, like, no, I just can tell you how I'm living and how I'm doing, and it's not I drink my wine, I listen to my music, I do the same thing, but I do believe in my Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior. At the same time, some people be like, oh, well, you're not a full-blown, look, I ain't say I was perfect, I'm not perfect. And like, I understand what you were saying, Mr. Kev. Some people they'd like the I understand what you were saying, Mr. Kev. Some people they'd like the Bible thump. They like to, oh, you shouldn't be, and they're not even living up to par to even be the one thumping the Bible on people's heads like that. And I shake my head and I just bow out. Like oh, I'm like, I don't. That's why I don't. I can't.
You know what else I learned too though? It is some people that can speak real well on here for real though, and all type of stuff. What I learned is that I think a lot of people hide their traumas in religion. I ain't gonna lie. I think a lot of people, because I think this what one thing is like they study something, right? And I think they get like a feel out of maybe being right or something like, or whatever the thing is, right? Some people study some things, right? Just like, I think it's I had so many topics, man, but what I'm getting to is like, I think a lot of people hide what they truly, because we got to talk about that healing thing again. I'm gonna do that tomorrow though. But a lot of people hide their stuff through many different things, degrees, the stuff that they learn, even the Bibles, right? They can tell you all the scriptures and stuff, but like the thing is like when you really dig deep and try to talk to people, they not really. And I can figure some of that stuff out within time. It just take really time. Maybe sometimes might take me a couple months or something like that. I could because I already have like certain things I try to watch out for or something like that. But you just pay attention to how people talk to one another and all this other stuff, because like really they will counter themselves, and that's why I said it depend on your vetting, and everybody's scared of that word nowadays and all that. But it depend on you're just learning as you fail. It's like trials and tribulations, right? As you fail with the last person, you got to learn something from there. Some people just keep moving on and all that other stuff, whatever. But that's friends, families, girlfriends, boyfriend, whatever it is. You have to like, all right, where did I go wrong at? What did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? And then how do I got to move? What I got to step? Because like even with me, right? It's like I was doing my little thing. I walk around testing my emotions. I might go in some crazy rooms and stuff like that because I preach on emotional intelligence or emotional control and stuff. And I'm like, all right, let me see. I got to test this sometimes. So I got to go test it because everybody can talk. Talk is cheap. And I see so many people talking, they fail right after. But I can tell I'm getting better, right? Because I mean, I see myself from back then, and I literally, I seriously want to better myself. That's all. That's what I try to do. I mean, even when I talk to so many people on here, I just want to better myself. Everything, I'm still got stuff I got to work on. Everywhere, ain't nobody's perfect, right? But it's just like I do. If I do mess up, right, I don't make no excuse behind it. It's just like I have to, because I don't want to be that person that want to hide all my traumas and behind the words I say and stuff. Because some people just so used to, talking, telling everybody what to do and all this other stuff, but they don't even, you know, they don't even realize. They just don't realize though. Like they really be countering about a lot of things they say and stuff. So that junk real. That junk real, man. I think people do hide in behind Bibles, scriptures, all that. Boy. And go back to that flexing thing I was talking about with the live days ago.
Yeah, that's why I only tell what I've learned. I try to get better, grow, learn, and it's like I don't try to go through it what the Bible says and everything else. Is like I just try to say like, look, this was my outcomes. And, I can't go too deep because sometimes it's not a whole bunch of when I end up having my own platform, then I can, I guess, in a sense. But I don't try to go too deep. But it's like I've been there, and then you don't know, you'll pick me. No, ma'am, I'm far from that. You don't understand the story. But when I can give you the story, then you understand the story. It ain't about that. But it's like, oh yeah, you this, you that. Like, no, ma'am, it's not even that. It's just like, come on now. My eyes is open. I'm just trying to give, my sisters like, look, this is what it is. Don't think it's negative, sis. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you out of the goodness. Don't let them fool you.
Can I speak real quick? I just came. Somebody invited me up, so I thought somebody had a
That was me. I
question for me
invited
or
you to
something.
the comments, so I said, "Might
Yeah.
get you up here."
So I didn't know if somebody wanted to ask me something or whatnot. I don't have too much time. I gotta take a load tomorrow early in the morning. So I just wanted to come up. So if anybody had a question for me, I'd be more than willing to give you my opinion. I don't, like I said, somebody brought me up here, invited me. Okay. Thank
Yes,
y'all
sir.
thank you for bringing me up. Appreciate you.
For sure.
Oh dang! I thought he had something he was about to say. Oh, okay. What
I'm a
did he
little
say?
upset. I
I missed
wanted
it.
to address something he said because I
I
He
went
missed
to
said,
go
it.
get
"I'd
something
rather
to
takes
eat, so I couldn't say.
it."
No, because I went to go get something to eat, so I couldn't say anything to him saying that black people's culture is just a mimic of white people's culture, when in fact our culture is the only remnants we have of what we knew prior to coming to America. So it don't work that way. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. We can hear you.
All right,
Hey, oh,
a lot of our culture comes from our resilience, not from us mimicking or wanting to be like or assimilating to. And I don't think that's a fair assessment for him to make, him also being a person of color.
yeah,
Excuse
this
me.
Y'all want him to come back up?
I don't know if he wanted more elaborate on what he was trying. I don't know because I thought he was about to say something and then he just dropped. So I don't know.
Right. But I just feel like, I don't know what it is about. It feels like people from other ethnic groups like minimalizing blackness. And I don't understand why that is. Like, I fundamentally understand what it is, but like, what do you gain from that?
Okay, so I'm back. I knew y'all had a question for me. Y'all just didn't want to spit it out. So,
I
he-
was doing something. I
no, that's
said I
fine.
was
That's
doing.
fine. No, no, I totally understand. There's nothing wrong with that. I was waiting patiently because like I said, I was invited up. I thought somebody was going to say something to me, so I just wanted to ask if y'all had. But obviously, you guys read my comments that I made, and yeah, I do believe that unfortunately, because of slavery, that a lot of the culture that came from Africa through your ancestors was taken from you. It was stripped
Mhm.
from language to religion to. And don't get me wrong, not all of it was. Of course, some of it came here, and you guys kept it. And I understand that. Um, but for the most part, you know, everything was stripped from you, and because you were paired with the basically the white rednecks, because the white rednecks were looked at like basically slaves back in them days, maybe a step up. You know what I'm saying? But you guys were actually paired with them. You guys worked around them. You lived around them in the same area, and so a lot of the way you talk, a lot of the things that you do, you eat, the way you cook, the way you speak, the religion. Um, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. You know, you got it from them, and there's nothing wrong with that, because this is how I feel about culture. A lot of people want to. A lot of people want to say culture is related to race. In a sense, it is, but it's not limited to race. Because when you look at what it is, somebody got an echo. Um, but what culture really is, um, it's the way people move. It's the way, you know, they practice art. It's the way, the music they listen to, the way they speak. But it has to do with a particular nation, a people, or a social group. And when I say social group, here in America, we are so mixed and diverse that you're going to have a lot of mixing of cultures, which we do have. And to be in America now, it's been like, now it's problematic. You know what I mean? It's like people want to start gatekeeping cultures when cultures are meant to be shared. They've always been shared. And it's just like now recently, it's like everybody's want to say, "Oh no, you can't do that. That's our culture." You know, it's just like rap. You know, people always want to say black people as black culture. It has a lot to do with black culture, but if you didn't come from the Bronx back in 1960, it's not part of your culture either. You know,
Hey, can I ask you a
especially.
question? Hold on, brother. Let
Yeah,
me
go
ask you
ahead,
a
go
question
ahead, go
about
ahead,
your
sir.
culture.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to bond with you. I want to build with you right quick, right? Okay,
Go ahead.
what would you consider yourself? You say Latino, right?
Yeah, I'm a Latino. I'm very multi-diverse Latino.
Okay, so where would you say your origin is? Like, where you come from? What land? What country?
I came from Southern Colorado.
No, like as far as your origin, like your people, where do they come from?
Well, I'm of Mexican descent, but obviously Colorado was Mexico at one point.
Okay. Let me ask
Yeah,
you this also, because I know a lot about a lot of people, different cultures, not just my own.
right.
What is your original language?
Obviously, it's an indigenous language, but because the Spanish language is a colonizer language. It came from Spain.
Okay, so what was your language before y'all was
I
colonized?
have no idea, brother. I'm not in
Okay,
tune with my indigenous side. I mean,
okay,
I know I got
they
indigenous
now.
in me, but I'm not in
Okay,
tune with it.
okay. I respect the honesty. This is where I would say that that's why I say it's always important that people know where they come from, because I know you talking about. I didn't take it no disrespect when you said what you said. I just
Yeah,
thought
and
it
I
was
wasn't
just
trying to be disrespectful
yeah.
at all.
I know. I just thought it was just misinformed, and I'm someone
Okay.
who I'm someone who really is an avid reader when it comes to history and knowing like where I come from, knowing where other people come from, so I could be very diverse when I'm having these conversations with people. And if you were to say that we lost our culture, I would say that we didn't. And the only reason I would say that is because when you say that, you assuming that all black people that come from Africa was of the same tribe and they practice the same culture and the same religion.
No, correct. No, I
African
understand
people,
that. I understand that
yeah.
because obviously back then they were tribes and nations. Back then it was
Yes,
so yeah. So they were
so
all
I
different.
believe that.
Because
So
I
I
come
believe that.
from a lineage of black people that were aware of where we came
Yeah.
from and kept the culture.
The indigenous people from Africa, they were basically, um, how do I say it, categorized pretty much like the indigenous people in the Americas. You know, they all went by tribes and nationalities, and they all spoke different types of languages, different foods. You know what I mean, depending on where they were at.
We're not a
So
monolith.
no, correct. No, nobody is. I'm not saying you were. And I apologize if you think I said that. I didn't
No,
mean it
you
like that.
didn't say anything wrong, but now it make me want to bring up this one. This is where I feel like we are the problem. Is we could say that we're not a monolith, right? And I totally agree. But when we go out into society and then a black person tend to do something outside of what we think we all should be doing the same, then we want to be called a monolith. If now I want to know, how is it that I told you I don't like doing things that everyone doing. I purposely go against the grain. Why do you believe that 95% of black people vote Democrat? You don't think that's suspicious that 95% of us vote Democrat when we all come from different walks of life, different type of religion, but one thing they have us under control is we all, 95% of us, vote the same. Why is that?
Exactly. You know what? I've been trying to figure that out my damn self because me as a Latino, most of my people they vote Democrat.
You can find that out by reading.
Since
You can,
2010, I've been voting
can I give a
Republican.
little context of where you can find that out at? Go read
Sure,
The
go ahead.
Color of Law, because
Well, I
technically
was going to give my
I forgot
explanation, but
Jane
go
was
ahead.
here.
go
I
read
know her.
The Color of Law, and you'll find out why we vote Democrat.
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea why, and I'm gonna throw in Latinos in there because a lot of
It's
Latinos vote
beyond
Democrat too.
it's beyond
But
an idea. It's
what
beyond an
happened is
idea.
when back in the days,
Can I finish as to
whatever.
why?
Go ahead, go ahead.
It's best to go and read instead of trying to give our own synopsis. The answer is also in the book called The Color of Law. It's not a synopsis. It's not it's not our personalized guess. It's an answer to it.
Okay.
Can I ask you who the author is?
Please go Google.
Oh, okay, my bad. My bad. Okay, I got you.
No, I'm not trying to be smart with you, Slim. I'm just saying, like, I just get tired of
Oh, that
hearing,
wasn't
like,
me.
oh, my bad. Who was it? Naya?
Yeah, my bad. I was just
My
curious.
bad, Naya. No, you're good. It's just the fact that, I hear these conversations all the time, and people love to speak on how they feel about things. But instead of us feeling a certain type of way, the knowledge is out there. And that's what makes this conversation seem, I'm about to say it, Kev, disingenuous. Because even saying that we all come from the same area, that we all do the same thing, that we all have the same heritage, that we don't know where we come from, that we're still not practicing within what we believe in our religions and things of that nature, that's ignorant.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I think, and I've said this in other lives before, and unfortunately, the way that the black slaves were treated, and a lot of their, I feel like, I'm just saying my opinion, I feel like their culture was stolen from them. You guys lost your identity, and you guys had to basically create another one. And so only people you had to go off of was the white folks, and white folks did teach you guys a lot. You mimicked them a lot in a lot of ways. Hold on, please let me finish. Let me finish.
Yeah, let me
And see,
let me go next.
and
'Cause
the
you got a lot
way,
of chip on you.
and
got
the
a lot of
reason
dip on
why,
your chip right now.
and the reason why I feel like a lot of times the black people are so lost, because then you start getting these people that want to say they were the first original Jewish people. Then you got black people that want to say that they're the first original indigenous people of America. You know what I mean? It's like, come on now, you really can't think like that. You can't believe
Okay,
that kind of stuff.
so let me ask you this.
Go ahead, sir.
Now, this is where you sound a little crazy a little bit, right?
Okay.
Because for like I'm telling you, I know firsthand. I learned from my grandmother and my elders, right? I don't need to read a book to know anything. I get it from my ancestors and my elders who actually lived during those times, and they got information passed down, right? And you could like I don't know her name at the bottom right, but there's certain things that you can read. Now, if I could tell, like, for you to tell us that we learn from a lot of stuff from YT people, when you yourself don't even know where you come from, you don't know your own culture, you don't know
I
your
do know
own.
where I come from. I
I
told
just
you I
asked
come
you.
from Southern Colorado.
From
No,
Colorado.
no. No. I asked you what is your original language. Like our original language is not English. There was a
Well, if
language
you
given to
want to
us.
know, my first language was English, and then I learned Spanish. Now, obviously I know the first original language was an indigenous language. I'm not even sure which one it was, but obviously I don't speak it, because I'm not around that type of culture. You know what I mean? I'm not
So
around a lot of Native Americans.
Valdez,
I'm around Mexicans and blacks.
You should be saying us, because I don't know if you know about Alta Binga, and I don't know how you know and don't know about how we're all intertwined, brown and black people.
Oh, I know how we're intertwined, because when
you
of
say
colonization,
us
you
and
had
then
Indians, blacks, and
y'all,
Spanish all mixing.
right? So when you say us
Yeah.
and then y'all, we're all in the same boat, buddy.
Well, okay. If you want, look, I've been in lives when I say us, and they be like, "Oh, you ain't one of us." So I got to be careful with you. Well, I'm gonna say y'all. I got to be careful with y'all, because sometimes y'all go off on me for saying us.
You keep
They'll be
saying
like, "Oh, you ain't one of
y'all.
us." You know what I mean?
Saying y'all.
Okay. Well, I'll say us. I'll admit that. I mean, why do you think?
We all
Why do
in
you
this
think?
together.
I've always said this: Latinos were the first biracial people in America. We really were. We were obviously, when the Spanish came and colonized the Americas, they mixed with the indigenous, and that's where most Latinos came from. And obviously, slaves were here with them, so you had a lot of black in there. There was even some Asian, And so we were the true first original mixed people, biracial people, quadruple, whatever you want to call it. We had a bunch of races in us. So, I mean, that's just how, that's how I see
I
it.
think the point you tried to make in saying that a lot of what we have as American Black culture is assimilation from white culture, I think that's kind of crazy when it's been factually proven that a lot of what people know today comes from them learning from us. Hey, Miss Pat. How you doing?
Do you really think that's possible? I mean, think about it. If black people came here as slaves, and they were looked down upon, and they were basically treated like animals, how could white people? Why would white people take anything from the black community?
All high in production melanated people, all people of melanin didn't come from Africa, baby. And we
Exactly.
were already here.
You were already here. What are you talking about?
Baby, go read. I'm done. Go read.
Some of us were
You're
already
trying to
here.
basically you're going
Not
back to say that
everybody
black
came
people.
here through the transatlantic slave trade.
Look, I understand that black people are mixed with a lot of things, just like us Latinos are. You guys are mixed because of
We're not talking
colonization as
about
well.
mixed people
When you were
though.
brought here, you ended up being mixed with indigenous as well. So do you have indigenous in you? Yeah, you can. Now, was black people the first original people here in America? No way. There's no way.
Wow. Okay. So, Kev, can I answer? Do you believe skin color is our main issue today?
No, ma'am. I believe it's
Okay, I was gonna read it.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
gonna
Oh, you
read it
weren't talking to
and
me. My bad.
respond. Yeah, I was gonna respond for Kev. I just wanted to read the first one. I do not believe it is thus far an issue just here. I think that race and color is an issue around the entire world. But what I feel is an issue within the U.S. as of today is socialism.
Mm.
You
You mean
said
about to expand
socialism
on that one?
or classism?
Socialism. You don't see people online complaining about the candidacy right now. It's socialism.
Oh, okay.
Socialism
Oh,
ties
I see what you're saying. Okay, I see
socialism
what you're
ties
saying.
into a lot of productions of things, including the reason why we're having this conversation right now.
Okay.
So I kind of have a question. I just need to be taught something real quick. So on the y'all and us within this conversation provided, because I got a little confused. Because if we're discussing his particular lineage right now, what was wrong with him using y'all in this within this conversation? If we're differentiating was like our race.
Like
I
I
didn't
said,
have an
the
issue
reason
with
why I use it
differentiating
is because
either.
I've been in panels with a lot of black people, and if I say us, they're like, hey, you ain't one of us. They get all possessive with it. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, whatever you want to say. I just I've got to be careful with them words because a lot of black panels they don't like that shit. So if I call everybody brother. If I call a black dude up here brother, I ain't your brother. Okay, fine. I'm kind of going off of
Yeah, I don't
brother
know
in
why they
Christ.
do that.
It just trips me out. So you got to be careful with these. I
This
call them
ain't that type of live. You ain't got to worry about it.
I call them pro black TikTok
At least I'm
lives. You know
not
what I
like
mean?
that.
Them pro black TikTok lives are crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm
They
not. I don't do that pro black stuff anyways. I don't like.
okay,
I don't
cool.
like
Like I say, I've been in a couple of them, and I've been
pro righteous.
demonized. Demonized for trying to associate myself with anybody. But it is what it
That go back
is.
to that loyalty stuff I was talking about, and I think that's. But I answer that a little bit different. I mean, I answer that later though. But I do be feeling like we overlook a lot of things because we want to be a ride or unalive or so bad. We even turn our own kind because of we don't ride or unalive. Let's put a ride or unalive on every last thing that you do. That's crazy. But what was going? Hey, we can get this topic started if y'all want to, man. We can get this party started. Somebody get off in about an hour and a half, maybe.
I mean, I stated that, Miss Naya, because at the end of the day, I'm Creole, okay? My daughter in the room is an Afro-Latina. I have Afro-Latinas in my family. We are all looked at the same way because that's what we are. We all have melanin. We're all in high production of melanin. We don't separate one another. We don't fight over who had the worst struggle, who came from what, but what came from this. What we're learning from each other. So to separate and to say certain things and act as if, well, this struggle wasn't this bad, and I can see y'all issues from, because at the end of the day, we're all viewed as one. We are all viewed as one, especially we're in high production of melanin. We're all viewed as one.
Are you from
So
Louisiana?
You a
And I
little lighter, so I'm a
yeah,
treat
so
you.
I get it though, but that's why I said. I mean, that's why he said what he said earlier is that he didn't know what type of live he was in though.
Right.
So his stuff makes sense too because I don't seen too many lives that have sit there as soon as they find somebody a different color or not the same race. They talking about what is you doing? It's not your talk. We done seen this so many times. Well, shoot, me and you got called coon because people are. But I'm just saying like, coon sister and brothers and stuff. But I'm just saying it's like they just be. They be like, I don't know why. That always made me angry too, because it's like, dang, what the heck? What did these people do to you? You know what I'm saying? Y'all be going off on the wrong people. That's the reason why I asked that first question like that. I don't believe it's skin. It's mindset. Sure.
What's your name? LaPhyllis? Is it LaPhyllis down there in the bottom right?
Phil.
Phil. Are you from Louisiana?
My people are from the Washington, Louisiana, and
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay,
Island
because like even
Plantation.
though I'm from Colorado, I grew up most of my life in Mississippi in the Jackson area. So
My stepmom's from Yazoo, Mississippi. They drink. Yeah,
I drank. I drank.
yeah, they drink.
that's crazy.
I only asked that question for understanding within this conversation since we was kind of dividing within this. But outside, I understand what you're saying, so.
Wait, I'm confused. Not to be your business, but not him, not you, him. Do you identify as Afro Latino?
Who me? No, no, ma'am. But I will say this. Now, and here's another reason why I don't bring up some of my life, because when I get in certain black panels, they start telling me I'm tokenizing. But see, I'm full Mexican. My mom's Mexican. My dad's Mexican, of Mexican descent. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we were all born in America. I was born in America. Grew up here my whole life. But my mom got separated from my real dad, and she married my stepdad, which was black, and he was from Mississippi. So that's how I ended up in Mississippi. So the people I grew up around, which was here in Mississippi, was all of my step family. So I grew up in the country with my step grandparents, all my cousins, all my step aunties. So see, I grew up around black folks. You know what I'm saying? But then when I went back to Denver to be with my dad, I was around a bunch of Mexicans. You know what I mean? So that's why I say I'm very multicultural. And then then I was in the Navy for 22 years. So I saw the world and I got to see a lot of different cultures as well. So I always like to say I got a little bit of everything in me. But my stepdad was black. I got a little sister, she half black. Actually, my son, he's 10 years old, he's half black. Now my first two older kids, I married a Mexican woman, so they're full Mexican. But my little boy, my 10-year-old, he's half black. So, but like I say, when I go on some of these panels, it's like, oh, now you tokenizing. So I quit telling people about my life. You know what I mean? But I see this is like a little safe place for me, so I went ahead and shared that with y'all. But yeah, but I mean,
Nah,
like
what do you talk about? You peeps, I don't talk to just change up on them quick,
I mean, here, and like
Heck,
that's
you
why
talking about get out of our business.
that's why I was talking about culture, man. Culture is something. It's not race based. It's not limited to race. Because I mean, to be honest with you, I grew up mimicking Jackson State University because I was in the band. So at my high school, we mimicked Jackson State University. So I was out there swacking my ass off, playing Get Ready. And then we had, when I was growing up, because I'm 51 years old, I graduated in 1991. So back in my days, we used to have stepping groups like like the Omegas, and Q Dogs, and all that. We were actually sponsored by Q Dogs at Jackson State. So I came up spinning the cane and stomping my ass off in high school. So I mean, a lot of people be like, oh, well, you were just part of that culture. No, that was my culture. I was in it. I mean, it's not like I'm just like a visitor or something. I was like really in it. You know what I mean? And so that's why I say cultures are meant to be shared. And I don't like when people try to gatekeep them. To me, it doesn't make no sense, especially in America, where we're a very multicultural country. You know what I mean? We're a big melting pot. And I think everybody takes from everybody's culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not disrespecting, then I just don't feel like it's an issue. But yeah, for real, like if you grew up around, like that lady, somebody up here said, well, if you grew up in Mexico, would that make me Mexican? Well, if you grew up in Mexico, you'd probably be a citizen of Mexico, so it probably would make you Mexican. And you'd probably be speaking Spanish, and you'd probably be doing a lot of things that Mexican people do in Mexico. That would be your culture, So, I mean, it's like I always tell people, black people from New York are way different from black people down here in the South, you know what I mean? Black people on the West Coast are way different from black people on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? They're just, the cultures are different. There's a lot of different cultures within different geographical locations, and that's why I say there's nothing wrong with sharing it. I mean, everybody, how you gonna tell somebody that grew up a certain way that all of a sudden they can't claim that? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy to me. And and I hate to say it, and I tell people this all the time. Look, I grew up saying the N-word. I don't use it now. I'm too old. I don't think nobody should be using it. But yeah, I grew up, every once in a while it'll come out, I mean, that's just where I grew up, and I don't like people telling me, oh, well, you can't say that. Hell, I can't. What you gonna do about it? You don't own me. You ain't the guardian over a certain word or how they could talk. Come on now. I mean, to me, that's just ridiculous.
I don't like that word, period.
No, I agree. I'm older now, and I don't think it should be used at all. I think it's horrible. I think it needs to be done away with just totally. I think it's a disgrace to a lot of black people's ancestors. You know what I mean? I really do.
I will say this though. I don't think it's consideration of gatekeeping for everything, because I've traveled a lot too. And I do feel like unless you've had the knowledge and can respect certain things, then you shouldn't be practicing them. I would never go to India and say, hey, I'm just going to worship your deities because I can. But you told me it brings prosperity, and I don't need to have any knowledge on it. You know what I'm saying? I think the problem is
Yeah.
that people have become way too comfortable going into different areas now that are from the US and say, I'm going to stand on grounds where the people that are natives here are not allowed to go there. You see what I'm saying? Or people that choose to get locks and call them dreads and then say, I'm just going to rock this just because. Everything has a reason behind it. So if people are not going to become knowledgeable as to why they're doing something, no, I don't think it should be done. The same way I went to one of my friend's houses. She lives all the way in China. I didn't go over there saying, why I eat with forks and I'm not going to sit on the floor. You see what I'm saying? You have to be open to wanting to understand and gain the knowledge from things. That's how we learn. Just wanting to be a part of is the problem that we have now. And that's probably why a lot of people are saying, no, you can't do this because you don't understand where it comes from.
And then if I could piggyback off what she said, it's not just that, it's the disrespect that comes along with it, because a lot of the culture that Black people specifically have made for themselves has always been seen as unkempt. It has been seen as ghetto. It has been seen as deplorable. Yet when a white woman does it or a white man does it, now it's trendy. Now it's cool. Now it's acceptable. Now the prices go up in communities and we can't afford the things that we were using to do those things. So it's like,
Yeah. That's
we get it.
justification.
Nobody
Yeah, I
can
get it.
say nobody can't do anything. I can't tell a grown adult that they can or cannot do something. But at the end of the day, if I feel disrespected, I have the right to say, yo, what you're doing is disrespectful. I think with Black people specifically, though, we're one of the few demographics that are told when we voice how we feel about these things that we're doing too much, that we're not allowed to gatekeep nothing. That's not even really y'all culture anyway. Y'all had to make that up. Somebody made up everybody's culture at some point.
I agree. I totally agree.
There's no sympathy for us and how we feel about it.
It's like the
Yeah, and
mama.
I do believe that, Black people, when they came to America, they had to basically recreate who they were, you know what I mean? But with that being said, a lot of things were shared, they took a lot of things. I know you don't like to admit it, but a lot of things did come from white folks, especially
It's
rednecks.
not about not admitting it. It's about it being a fact, and that's not factual.
Do you know how down here in the South, I even say it, I'll be like, are you going to be doing this? We be or you be. That came from white rednecks. It did. And to be honest with you, it came from Eastern Europe. That was something that the way they talk, so that whole African dialect, especially down here in the South,
Where is
um,
my can opener?
it came from rednecks. It really did. I don't know if you know who
You
Thomas
talking
Sowell
about
is, but if you
Cajun?
no, not Cajuns. No. I'm talking about the dialect that a lot of most Southern Black folks have. It's very
Ebonics
similar.
came from, wait a minute.
Wait,
That's
no.
Right,
Ebonics.
that's the thing.
Okay,
They
listen.
got it from us, not the other way around.
No,
No.
ma'am. Look. You got to. You know who Thomas Sowell is?
Who is it?
Thomas Sowell. He's basically a black philosopher. He wrote a book called The Black Redneck, and he talks about how because think about it. When you came here, you didn't know English. You had to learn English, and who are you going to be around? Who's going to teach you? The white redneck. So you learn how to speak English through the white redneck,
So, okay, can I
because
say
that's
this?
who you were around. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm picking up on what you're saying, right? So, someone can teach, for example, an Asian or any other type of person who's speaking another type of language. They're going to put their own twist to it. For example,
Oh yeah, no doubt. I
so
agree.
I think that's where the miscommunication being said of what you're saying or how
No,
we
I
talk.
didn't say the whole thing.
No,
Of
I see
course you
what you're
make
saying, but I think
like
that's where the miscommunication can be misinterpreted because if you're saying, "Oh, they taught me this is that," because I am from the South and I know some words I probably don't say correct, and people in other states here, it's probably like, "Oh, what's that?"
yeah.
Or certain
Well, it's
states.
like me. My whole life, people look at me. They see a Latino man, right? But then when I start talking, they be like, "What the fuck?" Because I sound. A lot of times they always tell me, "You sound like a black dude." I said, "No shit. Guess where I grew up?" It just is what it is.
But see, but
When
that's
you
your,
come here when you're 5 years old, you're gonna learn what you're gonna learn. You're a product of your environment.
but
And that's the
that's
same
a
thing
different
as
comparison.
That's the thing.
That, I would
Yeah.
say that's not the same. It's a similar comparison, but not the same from what you're saying. If you go, what I'm trying to
okay.
say, because at that point, it's already been established on how Black people talk. We're comparing.
Can I ask LaFills a question, Miss LaFills? You've been to Louisiana, I'm guessing, right? Even though you're not there.
Yeah.
Will you agree that most blacks and whites and basically almost anybody that in those areas, especially like in in Scott, Louisiana, was it Brooks Bridge, New Orleans? No matter what color you are, they all sound alike.
Somewhat, yeah.
Because it's just the way everybody talks down
I
there,
would
you know?
disagree.
And with a lot of us Creoles, we sound alike, but most of us learn French, and it's
Correct.
broken. Well, it's the standard for the broken, which is
Well, see, because a lot of times you guys end up mixing with Cajuns too.
no,
You know,
we
Cajuns
don't.
and
We
Creoles.
don't. We
But
don't mix
They
with
don't.
Cajun.
I ain't gonna
No,
say
we don't.
mix. I don't mix, not mix like that, but you end up being around each other because you got in the same area.
No,
You know what I
we
mean?
don't be around. No,
No.
I'm down there all the time now.
we
Come
not
on
the
now, I
same.
see
We
it.
not the same. Calling a Creole Cajun
No,
is
I'm not saying you the same. I didn't say you the same.
we
I
don't
just say
hang
you
with
guys.
Cajuns.
It might be through work. It might be through just passing each other,
But a
but y'all
lot of
around each
Southern
other a lot.
accents, though, actually come from like the Gullah Geechee language and things like
Thank you.
that. Like, yes,
Thank you. I
they
was
do have a part in it. They taught us English. Okay, cool. But the accents didn't come from them. They came from us.
yeah.
I'll look that up. I never understood. I
Yeah,
A
never
lot of
heard about
Southern
Gullah Geechee.
draws and the different variations they come in actually come from the Gullah Geechee language, not from
I'll
Red
look that up.
Wings.
I'm getting my information, like I said, from that book written by Thomas Sowell. I hope y'all
Yeah,
look him up. He's a real good
you
philosopher.
don't sound too educated.
I
Oh,
know
he's highly
English is
educated.
a
He's
English is
94
a
years old. He's
bastard.
still alive to this day. If it's the right man, I searched him up. I
English
sent
is
him.
English is a bastard language.
It
So
is.
when it came down to us learning, we kind of came up with our own language based on the fact that it's a bastard language and it's hard to interpret.
Well, no, I can understand that because I mean, when you think about us down in, see, listen, I spoke English. That's my first language. I didn't learn. I took Spanish in high school and I failed it. You see what I'm saying? And so when I joined the Navy, I married a Mexican chick. She was from Arizona. Her whole family was from Mexico. So that's where I learned how to speak Spanish. You know what I mean? But what I was going to say is that the way you speak Spanish in Mexico has a lot of indigenous words in it. Because if you go to Spain, and I have been to Spain, because I was in the Navy for 22 years, when you go to Spain, you try to speak Spanish to them, they won't know what the hell you're saying because they speak a whole different way. They
They speak
speak what we call
proper.
proper. Yeah, we call it proper Spanish. Down in Mexico, it's a whole different vibe, different way of speaking it. And
I just
a
think
lot
the
of words are used.
misconception you have is where it came from.
Yeah, I'm not saying you guys every
It's not
single 100% that comes from them. I'm just saying you did have a lot come from them. You know what I mean? I
That's
mean,
the
we
thing is
all do.
that
We
a
all
lot
do.
that's not the
It
case,
was
and we're
a
trying to tell you that as Black people who have experienced that, and it
Okay,
seems like you're
I'll take your word for
minimalizing
it.
that.
and
Can I?
I don't mean to do that. I'm just
forcible. It's not
I,
something that was taught, it's forcible. And then now we have something that, that we use on our own. It's called Ebonics to try to break those chains of the forcible bastard language called English. So no, we wasn't taught, we were forced. One thing
no.
that
Oh yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. It was forced. It was definitely forced.
yeah.
Can I
You're
say this?
totally right.
Can I ask you this as well? Valdez?
Yes, ma'am.
You said something about the cooking earlier with the red mix. Now, what part of cooking
Right.
back then? I'm just curious because a lot of foods that we said earlier, like the pig feet, chitlins, I ain't a fan of none of the stuff I'm saying right now. But we create our own food, because we got the slops back then.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That you didn't
How
get
much
that from them,
cooking
obviously.
come
But
from them?
things like just basic things like cabbage or collard greens or fried chicken or ham or of course they make it different now. Of course, as the Black people evolutionize, or is that the proper word? Evolved, should I say? They had their own little ways of doing things. You know what I mean? And I get that. But and that's what goes back to the whole culture thing. You just got to understand that here in America we're so diverse. We just share everything. You got to be open to that. You know what I mean?
I don't think you do.
Okay. Well, everybody has their opinion. That's fine with me. I'm just giving you mine.
And the
But
reason
hey,
I
listen,
feel that way is
I'm
because
so.
a
Go
lot of
ahead.
other cultures get to gatekeep theirs, but ours seems to be the one that's expendable. And I'm tired of Black people being treated like they're expendable.
Okay, I hear you. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys bringing me up here, and I really enjoyed the conversation. Like I said, most time I come into an all-Black panel, I usually get torched. But I appreciate y'all being cool with me. I gotta get up early in the morning. I gotta take a load all the way up to Jackson, Tennessee. So I gotta get my butt to bed. But thank you guys very much for having me up, and I enjoyed talking to y'all.
Have a blessed night. Stay safe on the road.
Thank you.
Good night.
Nope. I feel like I don't have my history class for the day.
It's part of why, like, I said I was pro segregation, and like, I am to an extent, but like, I understand that's not realistic. You feel me?
Mhm.
But like, that's part of the reason why.
And I get that because for the life of me, I cannot figure out this man that I learned in high school. I wish I would have paid attention to the class for this one lesson. We had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and this one man. He was the only man that was fighting for segregation, was trying to make a deal with the government about, hey, let us just have our own. You have your world, and we'll have ours. But we were so much caught up with Martin Luther King to the point it never happened. And you don't hear about him because I don't hear nobody say this man's name. I only heard about it from actually a YT woman.
Mm.
And to answer you, Naya, the author name is Richard Rothstein. I'm just not gonna give. I'm gatekeeping.
The crazy part is, what's so funny is like I'm about to do the 75 medium hard, whichever one I choose challenge, and I was writing down a list of books I want to read. So after you said that, I'm gonna write that down. So I appreciate you.
No problem.
Because that's why when I think LaFeels, is that your name?
Yeah.
When you was like, oh, us, oh, all, like, you don't, and I in the back of my mind, it was like, he's not black though. He just grew up around black people. That's different.
Right.
No, that's why I was like trying to get an understanding, because sometimes because I don't like being yelled at. That's why I was like, just teach me something real quick. Because sometimes I do think within these conversations, talking about race, political, anything that's sensitive, it kind of make us get, I want to say like, sensitive basically. So it was like, for me, with him saying, y'all are in a way of, I didn't take it as he was being disrespectful. Now it is a separation where if you're gonna say a statement, you have to be distinctive. That's why I kind of needed to understand on that part why it was wrong for him.
Right. I'm a little bit of an issue. I push buttons. I like to see people sweat. I have no issue with saying that this is accountability live. So when I get around other people that doesn't feel like they're included within anything, even though there's a distinctive inclusion, I kind of like to see where they're coming from. So I say certain things to push certain buttons. And when he kept saying y'all, and kept making the separation, he was making it clear that yes, you are separate from Colorado.
Right. And it's like, to me, it's okay to be separate. The thing is, nobody minimized the effect that happened with the colonization on Hispanic culture. Why are you going out of your way to minimize our input in our own culture by repeating yourself and saying that a lot of our culture came from white people? No, a lot of white people culture came from us. They weren't washing their ass before they stole us.
Thank you.
Now,
They were using the bathroom, sis. They were peeing and crapping in hallways and walls.
Right. Like, we are the reason that they have indoor plumbing, that they use soap, toothpaste.
No, they don't.
Right.
That
People
they
need to go
bathe.
learn their history
Some
or
don't.
go back to their
Bubonic
history
plague.
class. We
The
taught
start
them
of
how
the
to
bubonic
season
plague.
food. You think them people was cooking their own food? No. And us getting the slops and them tasting as good as they did was because we had to find a way to make something out of nothing.
Now, can I ask you this on those Slimmy, because you made a great point on the fact of why people don't minimize the Hispanic in their background. I think it's because many people don't know it. You can't speak on something you don't know. Because if I'm being honest, I don't know their background to be like, oh, you've been through this, and that. I don't know it. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, you've been through this and your history this. Do you think that plays a role in, since not only they know, a lot of people probably don't know it? You see what I'm saying? Because it's not mentioned. That's the one group I can say I have not heard nothing crazy like that.
Okay, this might be one of those things where it demographically differs, you being from the South and me being from California. Because we know. See, Black people and Mexicans in California, because they're so much outside of the racist parts of those groups, we're pretty much locked in. That's twinning them. You feel me? But it's because they respect our culture just as much as we respect theirs. For Cinco de Mayo, we go, we show out, we put money into their businesses, we do all of the things that they're asking other people to do, and vice versa. Like for Black Lives Matter, they were out there with us. So the community between Mexicans and Black people in California, especially in the Bay Area and in Los Angeles specifically, real different. That's fam right there.
Oh
We
yeah.
don't treat them differently. They don't treat us differently, but because there's a line of respect. Now, I do have an issue with Black people who allow their Mexican friends to say, nigga, I'm not that kind of friend. You can't do that with me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not I don't like anybody that's not like, I can take it from a Black person. Do I like it necessarily? No, I don't want nobody calling me that. You know what I mean? But
No, I get you. My friends know, hey, don't call me that or don't call me the B word. That's my
that's same. I don't use the B word like that either. So when I see Hispanic people from other parts of the US, it always seems to be a source of belittlement, kind of like some of the stuff he was saying. That's typically how they react. And it's hard when that's not what you're used to, because you're used to somebody that gets it because they fight with you. And then it's like him bringing up me being Native American. What does that have to do with anything? Because I speak the original language for my people. I know what part of Africa I come from.
Me too.
I actually get paid. Like I said it earlier, I've gotten my blood work done and I've done my rights within my tribe. I get paid by the government for being Native American. I'm not clueless. I'm not telling people, oh, I'm from California because that's all you know due to your family coming from Colorado. Like, no, I know. And the culture is still prevalent in some places more than others.
Right.
But I can tell you I ain't get it from no white man, though.
Hell, we said that, and then I know when to back away from a conversation when people don't know how to separate race from ethnicity. And when somebody keeps saying, "But I'm Hispanic," well, Hispanic is not a race. So,
That's
and then at the end of the day, saying I'm too old to say the N word. I mean, if you just allow people to talk, they're eventually going to
Well,
tell
tell on themselves. And it's like, oh, like it's not because you too old. Somebody done checked you a time or two, and then you packed it up. Like that's exactly what that gave.
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I did ask him the question. Are you saying the about said the alphabet right now?
Y'all think I'm listening. Y'all, what y'all think old dude came in with ill intentions or something?
Me personally, I don't think that.
Cause I was listening to him. He ain't come off like that. It seemed like y'all dissected him, and
I
he don't
don't
even
think
seem like
he
he was
meant
that
to
type of
be
guy.
malicious. I think he's a product of his ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even with that, right? Like that's something I had to work on myself though. If we know some people that might not know, so why we get mad at them?
I'm
I
not
mean,
getting mad
we
at
just
him,
got to
but there's a
correct them
thing.
and go from that point. Because I don't think ain't like he was being disrespectful. No, he just speak from what he thought he knew.
Yeah,
No,
but
we
like
not
there's a
mad.
difference between, like Kevin,
Yeah,
with
because I
you.
notice we get mad at people that don't know too much. Just like that's like somebody doing us the same way. If we don't know a lot, we feel like we farming. We wouldn't want nobody come at us like, "Hey, you sound stupid" or stuff like that. We just, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Me myself, I've been trying to practice that too myself because
It wasn't
I realize I be coming off on
that we
people
were
and stuff,
upset
and I'm
that he
like, dang,
was
they might not know that
ignorant.
much.
I
Huh?
don't think it was anybody being upset about him being ignorant about something. He
I
made
was
it
listening.
plain that
I was listening. I
he
just
made
waited to
it
say it
plain
now.
that he was ignorant about it. But it's like when anybody said anything, even if it was said respectfully in opposition to what he said, he chose to dug his heels in instead of listening to the demographic of people you're talking about.
I'm gonna say this though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this on him. I think within, for example, the same thing with the word thing. Are you saying they didn't teach us how to speak? They just taught us words. That's a huge difference. And I think he taught very broad at times. I think that's what a miscommunication could have been. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't think he
I'm
came.
not upset with him. I'm not upset with him at all. He's just a big conversational piece. Like everything that he said was like, wow. And then coming from somebody who's traveled and kept saying he came from the Navy and it's been 22 years and you've traveled other places and you don't know to respect their culture and their country and what they do and how they speak and things of that nature. It's like to be honest with you, I never met a military person that's been in for 22 years that they speak that way. So it's not that I'm upset. It's just that it was
It's a big conversational piece, Kev, from what he was saying.
And Kev,
And it
is
just
there a
goes
difference
back to my
from?
point. Hold on, Sean. It goes back to my point that people don't like to respect Black American culture, because everything he said about any other culture was way more in tune to being open and accepting to them. But like with us, it's like you can't gatekeep that, you can't do this, and it's like, all right, cool.
Like I said it for a reason though. I was just listening. I was listening. I just was I don't know. I was just hearing as y'all kept talking and stuff. It seemed like y'all thought he was just coming off. I was just, like I said, I was just paying attention. It just seemed like he just didn't know too much. It wasn't that like to weird to like we gotta,
I'll tell you why I
kind
think
of down him and stuff or whatever. It's just obvious he don't know. He's not as smart as everybody. You know what I'm saying? Or when it comes to certain things, and I ain't gonna say that. It just is obvious he probably just didn't read the same books that everybody else read. You know,
So
I don't know. Like I said, me myself, and I just realized that I'm starting to do that with people. That's the reason why I don't even try to go back and forth with people now. That's something I literally started working on the last couple of weeks.
Is there a difference from
accountability? Wait, though, Sean. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna let you go off, Kev. Now this is your room, and it's called accountability. Now, this is a person that has lived long enough that they have worked within the Navy for 22 long years around a bunch of diverse people and have traveled abroad. There was no reason as to why, unless he was going to allude or invoke any type of ignorance upon us as the reason as to why he was saying he did not know certain things. Because he made it clear that not only has he lived a long time, but he's worked alongside of people from different nations for 22 years. That was willful ignorance.
and we can't.
Gotcha.
For me, I'm gonna say he was disrespectful. Here's my reasons why. I don't forget what
Maybe
you
I just got different ears or something. I don't know what's going on. I literally just.
I'm gonna tell you. I don't forget what you said in the comments when you come on the panel. What you said in the comments don't change once you get on the panel, right? And then I agree with you when you say we get mad at people for not knowing, right? But here's the difference. If you don't know something, but you pretend like you do, you have ill intent. If you don't know something, just say it. Don't speak on something that you have no idea of, but you want to portray the image that you do know. On the other end,
who like to admit they wrong though? Who do that?
Well, I remember earlier. Hold on. Remember earlier.
We see that amongst each other. People don't like to admit when they're wrong.
Because I said, I'm gonna say for me, I said earlier that I'm a hypocrite and I can stand on it, right? If I don't know something, I would admit it. And his other intent was, how do you not, like, how you gonna say black people don't know their history when you yourself, that's what I mean by the guilty conscience shit. You don't even know your own history, but you have the audacity to tell someone else that they don't know about their history. You focus on your own history before you start telling other people they don't know nothing about their history, they lost. No, you can't do that shit. That's ill. That means you have ill intent when, and like we talking about the whole Bible thing about hypocrites, right?
Right.
I think people they don't understand that part. A hypocrite is not, if I do something, that means that none of us could preach the Bible or talk about the Bible because we all doing something wrong according to the Bible, right? So I feel like when you have that mindset, I'm like, okay, let me break down what is the true meaning of it. A hypocrite is you telling me something that I'm doing wrong, but at the same time, you're doing the same thing. That makes you a hypocrite when you talk about the word that's for us in the Bible. You holding me, you saying that I'm doing something that's wrong, but you're actually doing it at the same time. That is a hypocrite. Yeah. So we can call people out on certain things as far as if you know.
I feel you though, and I'm big on calling stuff out. I don't, maybe like I said, maybe I must have different ears or something like that. And because my experience, I've actually seen people that purposely do it. Just to me, right? I just say to me, right? Not to everybody, because I literally just sitting here. Everybody else was talking. I was just listening as y'all talk. Just let y'all rock out. On my end, it just didn't. To me, he just didn't come off like that. It just sounded like he was just lost and he just wanted to stand on something, but he really didn't know what he was saying. Just like a lot of us, we read certain things or whatever, but I don't know. That might be just me. Like I said, because I literally see people that just purposely want to, say some crazy stuff or whatever, and I seen way worse, but maybe he tricked me. I say that then, but to me,
I don't know.
You 34, that man 51 years old.
I don't know, because he's made a very...
And we already know. That don't mean nothing. There's so many lost people that's older than me.
The part that kind of threw it for me was like when he brought up me saying if I was born in Mexico, that I wouldn't be considered
Mexican. I did not mean Mexican as the nationality. I meant ethnically Mexican. They would still consider me black, just like Lupita Nyong'o. She was born in Mexico, but she is considered Kenyan. She's not considered Mexican. And then when La Feels, I think I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry. But when she mentioned how Afro Latinos are treated differently, he didn't have anything to say to that. And that's exactly what I was talking about. I think that's crazy. I don't think he meant to sow discourse. I think he wanted to be, oh, I'm going to come in there and tell them the truth about themselves. And it wasn't that.
Yeah.
Is that a perception or is that your perspective or you? Or,
I'm admitting that that's not
but
perspective.
whatever.
I'm not saying
I
that
noticed
that's
that we
fact. I
like
don't
filling
know
in the
that.
blank a lot of times, but whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I could be wrong. Y'all could. I don't know what the deal is, but it
Can
is
I
what it
ask
is.
Sean a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Sean, did you ask in the beginning of the conversation when he first came up here? So I'll make sure I was gonna ask him, but he left. Did he say that he was Latino or Mexican? Because I
You
think
said
he said in
Latino.
the comments he said Latino.
Say that again. I
In
didn't
the
hear you.
comments, then he said that he was Latino.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
I heard him. He
yes, he
said
did.
He said he
Latino.
was a
Okay,
bunch
so
of
what?
different kinds of Latino.
Okay, oh God. Okay, I was just curious on that because then he went through his family tree of saying his parents is Mexicans. But yeah, okay.
Okay.
And I
There
don't get this black by proxy thing. You cannot be black by proxy. It
Okay,
don't work
now
that
I'm
way.
gonna give him this. So wait, hold on, because you said something earlier. The problem is everybody not standing on the same values and rules and situations within the black community because you say his people allowed it, and then it's a whole lot of confusion. Because sometimes I don't be like that, but sometimes it's kind of I ain't finna hold
And
you.
that's what a lot of East Coast people, black people do.
It be confusing for them when they, like he said himself, he didn't know whether to say y'all brother, sister, mother, father. He
Hey,
didn't know because of different. It's a whole lot of confusion.
And that's why people gotta understand, pardon my French, but a nigga pass. It don't work with every nigga. It just work with the ones that gave it to you.
and Slimmy, did y'all pay attention? And Care, did you pay attention to this? Is how he kind of. I think he wants to come in here and tell us something that he think we didn't know. Right? This man said in the comments that we don't know our culture. Right? But then he proceeded to get up here and say that we got most of our culture from YT people, and then he proceeded to say that culture should be shared. Okay, nigga, hold on. If you believe it should be shared, then you shouldn't be coming up here talking about we don't know our culture. If you think it should be shared,
We just met.
We already know how older people is, man.
Gaslight.
No, it's not just
They feel
older
like they can't learn
people.
anything else.
A lot of people and the funny thing is, they don't pull this kind of crap with anybody else's culture.
He was gaslighting, and that's what most people use on this app.
Right.
I don't know what it looks like.
You said he was gaslighting. Wow.
That's
A
exactly
little
what he
bit.
was
I don't
doing
think it was
roundabout.
I don't know.
intentional, but
I might
he
maybe
was.
I've seen some true gaslighting though. I don't know. I
That
was not listening.
I'm gonna tell you how. When he came up here, he acted as if he was.
I might be
really
getting soft,
strong.
Shine. I think so because I realize it's a lot of things I have to change within myself though. That's the reason why I don't try to argue with people that much no more because I realize that everybody's at different levels. And as like I said, as I did, I'm glad you did say that because I was thinking about that too. Like, dang, I'm having more compassion than I usually have or something like that. Because because I realized that I just be arguing with people that really don't, I realize all of us is kind of lost. All of us act like we smarter than one another. Then we get, I'm like, I'm not about to get mad about because how other people think sometimes. I'm like, well, let people, because there be people I highly disagree with, right? But just like, let me hear their perspective. Let me just hear it out, see what they talking about, what they get into. Because I don't think everything be ill all the time. I just don't think. I just think a lot of people just lost and they think they standing on some stuff and they really don't know what they talking about for the most part. But I don't know. I guess I'm giving people the benefit. I don't know, whatever you want to call it though. But I seen some stuff. Like I usually block people that do stuff like that. Like I just blocked Tansy and Jerome and all that stuff. They purposely don't try to understand or something like that. They pushing their message and stuff. So I could kind of tell the difference with that.
Yeah, but we didn't fuss at him. We just let him.
I ain't say y'all fussed it, but I was listening to y'all. Y'all was coming up with every fill in the blank. He came in here doing that. He must be that. He must have came. I'm like, I don't know. I just can't.
He did do a roundabout, like Sean said, and he contradicted himself many times.
Man, he sounded like an old man that tried to be smart. That's what he sounded like. I done ran into that too many times.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't tell them nothing. Like we done seen people on this app that's like that. They certain age, they feel like they can push our stuff. They think that we wrong and all that stuff. But I realize that the people that's like that, I'm like, whatever. You think that? You think your whole self think that?
Black Tansy. What?
Yeah, I finally decided to do that a couple of days ago. I'm
Oh
like,
my
but she's not really,
God.
huh? You said what?
I
Oh,
just
we
said,
reading
oh
the
my
comments.
God.
Say it again. Yeah,
Sean,
somebody talking at
stop
the same
it.
time.
Stop it, Sean.
I was just saying,
And
oh
he
my
said he had a
God. I
black
just answered.
son, not a black
Slim,
daughter.
what the heck? Every time I hear her talk, you keep talking at the same time.
Oh no, I was just about to, I was laughing at the fact.
Oh,
I'm shocked that you finally blocked Tansy.
oh no, yeah, that's why I was talking about that kind of yesterday. I was just talking about yeah, people that I feel like I can't have a conversation because I am trying to grow. I'm trying to grow. I realize that I can do that so much times of trying to test my emotion. I done did enough times, right? I see where I'm at. I don't have to keep doing it because I realize everybody, just like we was talking about the level thing, right? I realize everybody that just because I can control my emotions more than a lot of people, that don't mean everybody else can. You know what I'm saying? And I was keeping people in here to test them, but I realized a lot of them just kept failing anyways. They got to snap back. They got to say all type of stuff. And I'm like, why is y'all showing her attention? But I'm like, you know what? Whatever. They got to, some people, even my own mutuals, right? Even though I get more mad at my mutuals for falling for people like that because I'm like, man, we know better. But everybody, I guess, and I will give her that. She seemed like she a professional at that. She really good at that. I done seen she got me out my square a couple of days ago, and I'm like, dang, what the heck? She made me tell her to shut up. But I have the thing is, I am trying to I'm trying to grow more. I ain't trying to do all that toxic stuff, man, for real. I even realized, like, even it's not, because I be saying, like, when I talk about women or I could talk about men, but when it come with the women, it's just like they always got something. It's about to get to a point now that I really don't care no more now in a minute, because they ain't nothing. Most of the time, none of these women trying to listen to me. They keep always getting offended and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna let them sit, do what they gonna do at the end of the day. You know, only people that's trying to listen, they gonna listen. You know, it's just all these things I've just been thinking about, and I've just been experiencing these past couple weeks and stuff. And I'm like, bro, we're not getting anywhere. I can't keep talking to brick walls. That's my new thing now. We just talk to brick walls. I'm not about to argue with people. When I know I grow, why I got to argue with somebody that haven't grown yet? You know, I mean, I know where I'm at. I got to show with my actions. I ain't got to prove myself and keep telling people that. So it's just like, I'm about to keep stooping down to everybody else's level. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be quick to demonize nobody. I am trying to hear people out. Like, all yesterday I was listening to, like, Sean and all them, because I usually disagree with a lot of stuff. You know, they was on point for the most part, but I was hearing them, and I'm trying to hear different sides of different things, because I do believe it's multiple sides, and a lot of people can be right about what they say. I'll just take my time, and I realize, like, it's not no competition. You know, I try to take that out. I think I started this app and listening to people, it was a competition thing. And I'm realizing that we're not getting past these competitions we having. Well, men do more than this and women do that. It's like, okay, man, well, we ain't getting nowhere with it. You know, once we find out that, okay, women don't take accountability, men can't discipline. Okay, what can we do from there? You know what I'm saying? All we're going to do is keep saying that and then nothing. And then I noticed that even some of these people, right? And I was noticing that yesterday, it's like some people only listening to you when you only hold yourself accountable, but as soon as you try to hold them accountable, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not trying to please everybody. Well, I like that you're a man that know to hold yourself accountable. Well, what the heck, when you gonna do it? What the heck? I ain't gotta, whatever, but it's just so much stuff I realize I gotta change from and work on.
Look
You
at
know,
growing.
Proud of you.
people ain't really trying to change though. That's why they keep being in the same old thing. I'm not trying to, like. Oh, it's so much stuff I'm looking at. Like, dang, it's not no purpose. I'm trying to be a better person. I gotta stop hanging around certain people. I gotta stop putting myself in minutes. Like, even these crazy lies. I was going in there just to, test, back to the testing thing again. But it's just like, more of them is just, I'm like free food to them. You know, I noticed that all of them got their mind made up for the most part. If I could find one or two, yeah, that's cool. But it's like, no, I'd rather find lies that's talk about the same thing I'm talking about, than whatever, and then have a few of them. But if I'm jumping in the live talking about your mamas and you got a small energy and all this other stuff, I gotta blame myself from that point. That's what I was talking about yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not trying to keep dealing with people like that just to feed their little miserable selves, because that's that misery energy that they get. I'm good on that.
No, I truly agree with you. I noticed myself recently unfollowing certain people because of the fact of you made it on the fact of, if you can't keep talking about change and we're not making no change or coming up with the solutions for change, it's like, Well, at that point,
I want
like,
to drop some names though. Who I actually have followed. I don't follow some people that y'all probably know too.
I know I folks.
I want to drop some names though.
He toxic.
He said, "Be tight, come on." You ain't.
I know for a fact I unfollow some of the people that you know, Kim. But anyways,
I
it's
did.
oh you.
I'm gonna put it in the comments actually. Let me put it in the
I ain't gonna
comments.
say about you.
Give us the blacklist.
I'm just gonna put it in the comments
It's probably the
because
same
it's just
people.
these are people that I realize changed on me when because I don't. If I don't stay balanced, they wanna be like, oh, what are you talking about and all this stuff or whatever. And then people that can't control their emotions, I can't deal with them either, even if we are mutual or not. You know, that's one rule I be trying to have in my situation is like, dog, let it just rock. It's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? We trying to grow, you know, but every last minute you keep trying to look for all this. I'm like, bro, I don't do that. You know, I don't know why people be thinking I forget that.
I realize
I'm
for
sorry.
me,
That's one name.
for me personally, you threw me off. I realized that you may have the same goal, but you're doing a whole different way that I don't agree with, and that's okay. I can't do it.
Yep.
Even if I tried to help. So it's like I'm not gonna put myself in a predicament to even be looked at as a bad person being around y'all like that. They ain't really. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's no point, man. It's nothing to really get out them people. A lot of them just pushing their own. They're not trying to. And then one thing is, some of them people is like, I don't never hear them agree with anything, or not even that. Just try to learn something. They rather just keep pushing stuff. You know, I can't talk to people like that.
Listen, I was in a
Dude,
particular live around some of them people that you said. I was in a particular live. It was like when I saw how they treat a particular person after I hear the message that they try to present, it's like, hold on, that was a perfect opportunity to understand what you're trying to teach and the people that you're trying to target. But you push them, that's not gonna work. So I get what you're saying. Like, you have to be around the sound mind people. I ain't gonna hold you. I like your live. You give interesting topics, and it's not.
Man, we had a real good live yesterday. Like, it was, you know, and I'd rather have it that way too, low key.
So why you ask me where I've been at? You know where I've been at, in hiding, because I can't speak from I can speak from different perspectives, but I feel weird acting as if I toe one line. I don't just toe one line. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But multifaceted. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, I mean, I love your lives, and you see, I don't get on no panels. I got on a panel yesterday, and I was like, this is a conversation I'm over, because this is, once again, men versus women, but giving women the perspective and giving women the floor, and then this
or pandering to women. I mean, all these lives be the same thing, man. Let me make money. Let's pander to women. Let's talk about the next news. Let's talk about the elections. Let's talk about. It's like, what the heck that gonna do for any of us? That's not gonna make any of us better. Everybody, I think it's like an entertainment thing for most people. You know what I'm saying?
Anything for clout. I said that from the beginning. Like, sometimes within them lives, we're like, did y'all even research to see if it's real or a skit? Oh, but it's day by day life. No, it's possibly a skit, and people know how to make profit. Now, you praising this, although it's the impact and intention. Just because you posting this and discussing it, you're giving praise to it, because some people don't understand. People get nonchalant real quick. It's too much. We praise too much bad behavior more than the good. Now it's done. It's done. No, I ain't fun. It's not. It doesn't make sense to me no more.
Exactly. Like, but Kev also, like, so that's why, like, they don't want to change. Like, and that's why, like all they do is only unite over, like, over tragedy.
I like how you
trauma.
did that.
Like,
Yeah.
That's funny. That was nice.
That's all, man. Even with these lives that be banging, it's either trauma or tragedy, or some type of drama or whatever. You know, trauma, that almost rhymes and stuff. That's the only time you see lives popping up and all that stuff. But I'm alright what I'm doing right now, man. I know my mission on here. I don't have to prove myself. You know, that's one of my things, man. I think that's a lot of our problems, is we trying to prove that's the reason why we hurting our own self for the most part. We proving ourselves to the wrong people. That's just what it is. We keep trying to be smooth and popular. Who cares? Like, is this popularity people help my real life? Like, we gotta eventually get off this app. You still got issues with your mama and your all that stuff. That's not about to save you. You know what I'm saying? Like this. Let's go talk about somebody else in AT. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So you get off this app. Where you back at? You back at your miserable life you forgot to talk about. How about you talk about your life on this app? But the people ain't gonna do that. Make a gossip about that. But no, we got an excuse for that situation though. So it's just like, man, whatever.
I got an unrelated question.
What's that?
So I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Not the pickle.
Yeah, a little bit of a pickle. So there is a man who I am not interested in that keeps sending me reels on Instagram, and it's like I'll block him and he'll make another account to send me more reels about how my boyfriend's a bum, and I like you and I want you, so I'ma have memes, and like it's every day, and then every Saturday he asks me what am I doing on Sunday, and I keep blocking him and he keep making new pages, and it's like he too old for this, and I'm confused because I've said multiple times I don't want you, and he don't get it.
Yes, so it's
Is
like
you responding to him?
No, he talking to himself.
like, but that's giving like, cause I blocked you, and you still like finding like a different way, like another page. Like now you're being like a stalker. Like you harassing me. Like why are
Okay,
you
private.
making different pages?
Now I have a question. Did you,
Like scam
when
like
you
me.
block them, do you use the category to say any other pages this person make?
Every time.
Oh my God, he's crazy then.
Well, what you do to him? You done laid it down on him.
I've never even met this man.
You said some sweet stuff to him.
He matched
They
me
call me
on
Slimmy.
No,
Slimmy
that's enough.
Neutron.
I matched him on a
I
dating
just caught your
app
name
like
too. I just noticed that.
6 months ago, and then like it was cool, but the conversation like 5 messages in got weird because he was like, "It. I don't mind somebody asking me if they could talk to me on Instagram. I don't care." So he asked if I don't want to talk on here. Can we talk on Instagram? So I gave him my IG. He DM'd me, and then the
What's your IG?
conversation.
Let me go ahead and ask you real quick so I can do it.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
My turn. Say no.
I got a question. I got a question for you, Slim. Is your page private?
No,
I asked that.
Make your page private. Make your page private because
I
every
can't
time
do that.
you said what?
I can't say why, but I can't do that.
Shit, she said she didn't want to do that. She got to show that business off.
Slim, you're very pretty.
Thank you. So are you.
If you don't meet somebody in Kroger, girl, you can't be going on no dating app. That's where the crazies is at.
Well, I got off the dating app.
I'm disappointed in the dating app.
He just keeps sending me reels every day, and it's always the cringiest reels. Like, why are you? I don't have a boyfriend. Who is the bum? I'm confused.
Okay, Slimmy. Like, so tell him you're gonna get. Tell him you're gonna get a restraining order so he can stop.
It's a wrap on that one.
What if he said, I don't care if you get a restraining order real?
Right.
Yeah, I don't care about
I
that.
just don't know because I had that happen to me. And it's like, why are you making different pages? Like, oh my God.
It's like, you know how much effort you got to do to make a whole new email and get a whole new text now number to make a whole new account? Like,
if Scam Likely can do it, he can.
You don't need. Now I'm gonna say this: you don't need another number just to make a new Instagram. You just need an email.
Email. He making a bunch of them.
Yeah.
He like mess with Slimmy1 at yahoo.com. Mess with Slimmy2.
You're messy.
Cause like I've been in this live for what, like 2-3 hours. I done got 5 reels.
Slimmy's my girlfriend at Gmail.
My best advice to you is to just mute the message.
And it's like, he's 40. Why are you doing this?
Or go talk to a detective and they can pull an IP address.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I know he's staying in Fremont.
Yeah, the detective can pull it.
Hey, I mute the messages at that point and make them not a what's the word for on Instagram?
Priority.
Unimportant. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Not a priority.
Oh, I got you there since you said thank
You
you.
know what? I'm surprised he hasn't been
Every
calling me all
No,
day.
breath.
why? We was doing so great. We was doing
I
great.
forgot about that. We was stored up on. I didn't get to sing it today.
We was doing
Mm.
great.
Got
You know?
myself.
Oh Lord, God be saying no sometimes.
I think he
A
said
lot
it
of
a lot
times.
to us.
He say no sometimes, Kev. And I think when your vocal cords came to it, he said no.
Ah, ah.
Slimming no try. Good one. Good one.
That's not in your ministry, baby. That's not in your ministry. It's
Well,
okay.
well, how do you
That's
tell
cool.
somebody
Let me
that
see
can't
you
do
at
out?
as a matter of fact, they doing it tonight. Let's see what them vocals talking about.
No, I
Let's
know
see
I
what them
sound like a
vocals
dying
talking
cow.
about.
I know I sound like a dying cow. It's okay. See, I know it's not in my ministry, so I don't be putting it out there.
I'm glad somebody finally told me I can't sing. That's cool. I'm glad I'll be playing around
Oh,
anyway.
girl,
Let's
when
see
you
it.
over there, Kev, when you really be singing your
Huh?
Donnell Jones and your Chris Brown.
My, I
Donald
can't
Jones
sing.
is crazy.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
can
leave it
sing
like
where I
that.
wanna be. Yeah.
Where I wanna be. I just left my baby
Oh
girl.
Lord. Oh no.
That's how you do it. Let them believe that they can achieve.
Lord have mercy.
He just sent me another reel.
Said I won't be coming home.
I'm glad
Rather be alone.
I'm gonna just block him again and wait for the next account.
Girl, I'm telling you, you can just take them off of primary.
I'm gonna sing just like that. I'm gonna find her Instagram and sing.
My Instagram is in my TikTok thingy.
You
Slim's biggest fan. That's what his name probably is on his name.
And the thing
You
is,
ain't going nowhere, Shine. Bring yourself back.
he's not an unattractive man either. He just weird.
Oh.
Like he kind of fine.
Weird.
I just feel like he really is. He's
Oh, that's why she over there. That's
He
what
got a
it
little
is.
bit of money on him too, but it's like he weird. I can't do the weird.
You know how to get rid of him? Tell him send you $4,000 to $5,000.
Cash App. Man, she just got to jump church party to the highest amount. Oh my!
That'll get rid of them, or they'll get you paid a little bit.
Now, if it worked for the church,
At least get a couple dollars out of them, then jump it up.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not
go
above
straight
that.
for the gusto.
Yeah, I am not above that.
5,000. 5,000 and you say hello.
Hello.
He might start posting about me talking about, see, this is why you don't talk to women, because all they want is your money.
But he'll stop hitting you up though.
Nah, you're gonna be in the back of a TikTok live, the picture in the back.
Go come over here.
Nah, but then if he really like that, he might not send that much, but he'll send you some, and they continue to send it to you.
If he owe a little bit of money, girl.
I'm so glad he don't know where I work, because he would pop up vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Or send you your favorite lunch vibe.
Mm-hmm. That just made my ass itch. It's the worst when it's somebody that's physically your type and financially where you want them to be, but then they just weird, and it's like, why did God do you like that? Like, you couldn't have just been a normal human. I would have taken it if he was boring.
Yeah.
So would you say they gotta do something with the 80% and 20%?
What do you mean?
Talking about? Like, people be like, you're not gonna get the whole 100% of what you want or what you would like in a person, but it's just that 20% that kind of push people away when they could have been 80%. Gotcha.
I don't think this is that. No, because it's like, to me, if you make things to adult conversation, right, and it wasn't even normal adult conversation for me to even be like, okay, he's just a little freaky. You feel what I mean? No, it was weird. It was, why are you into that? And I'm with the shenanigans. So if you're surprising me, you have a problem.
So this is the thing. Don't do that $4,000 request, because she done probably paid it out before to do it. What he want?
I feel like he be paying for feet pictures.
Oh my.
Hello.
My Lord.
And that would be like the tamest thing.
Girl, send him over to me. I do that type of work. Come on, send him over to me. And I don't care how many times he hit on my Instagram. He ain't gonna get no response because I don't be on it.
But
My
it's just,
manager
oh
be
my
like,
God, he just weird. And then it was like he sent me a happy Mother's Day post. I don't have no kids.
Mm. He said he's preparing you.
He,
do you
if
have
you
a,
trying to
That was
give
the
you
next
a
message.
sign,
do you have a little
That was
doggy?
the
you
last
think
message
you
I
don't got
got from
no
him
kid.
on Mother's Day. He sent me a Mother's Day post, and I said I don't have kids, and he was like, "Not over you yet." And then I said that wasn't as
Not in
funny
yet.
as you thought it was. And then he said, in my head it was, and then I said that's where it should have stayed. That was the last message I sent him.
Not half on a baby.
Got a head, all right.
No, not half on a baby, just wasting them on me, and I don't like that. I'm like,
Ah,
I don't know you. I ain't even seen your paperwork yet, sir. I need a Carfax report.
he sound nasty. Yeah, don't send him over here, never mind.
No, he's very nasty in some very sick and depraved ways, like beyond normal nasty. Because I could do normal nasty. I'm nasty. I'm a heathen. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Ooh.
But if you surprising me, if I feel some type of way, you into some, you need therapy type stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say I'm a heathen. I was washing Jesus' feet with my weave, so I'm a big heathen.
Uh-oh.
Love that response. I loved the way you put that. I love the chef's kiss. Oh my God.
But I ain't hit up random people heathen though. I hit up,
Mhm.
that's good.
And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have my moment. I just got out of a 5-year relationship, so I'm enjoying my time. I haven't been single in almost half a decade. I'm enjoying myself. But I don't want to enjoy myself with him.
Yeah.
Yep. Where's Sean at? He said he's 6'7". I'm gonna be nuts.
Oh God.
Isn't that beautiful the way we can sit around and laugh and know what each other is talking about and thinking and not
Having a woman thing or something. What's going on, man?
I'm loving that.
I think that like Black people are captains of when it comes to like nonverbal communication. We just be knowing. And
I'm
I feel
alone in
like
here.
that stems from being in the field and not wanting the what do they call that man? The one on the horse. The overseer to know what y'all talking about.
Polo?
Here, take a look.
Who said
We are talking about
Oh.
slavery, son. Kevin, you did not pass the
I
vibe
heard the
check.
wrong, my
You did
bad.
not pass the vibe check.
that threw me off. That threw me off. I ain't even hold you.
But
That
not
was
that you never been in a group with your friends and then it's like all y'all gotta do is look at each other and y'all instantly know what's going on. Like something is funny or like, it's a female and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right, she bad. But it's like non-verbal communication.
Or the tap of the leg.
Mm-hmm.
You do
I
a
do
little tap.
that during the funerals. I love that moment. See, I hear the drum set, and whenever don't let somebody sing off key at my church, or my face gonna change right on the drum.
I'm just letting you know now, I'm immature. If you look at me, I'm gonna start laughing, and then if you start laughing, I'm gonna start laughing harder. I done been kicked out of 3 funerals. It is what it is.
Oh, listen, I never forget when this lady, she passed out during her reflection. She didn't really pass out. It's a difference between passing out and falling out. That's a big difference in the church. And her wig flew too at the same time. I was done. Like, they couldn't kick me out. They ain't had no drummer.
I got put out one time because this lady was singing Amazing Grace, but not just Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. She sang all the verses. I didn't even know.
Oh, it's about 10 verses in that song.
And I meant to say it in my head, but I just, I hit a Florida Evans, not another damn verse. And I was asked to go home. It was okay.
Oh,
I wasn't mad at him. I would have put me out too.
Now, Kev, you're not off the hook. Go on, finish that list up. I'm nosing.
What list?
What happened?
Go on, finish. You only put 2 names down there. Because whoever you
I
got
think that's
rid
the only
of.
2 that was kind of mutual that was close to me and stuff. I was like,
I'm getting rid of too.
How important is family to
I only did it because my own personal
important
thing though, because it's just I realized that some people I just got talking eggshells and they only around or they support me when I just speak on what they like. They can't take both ends. They can't take disagreements. some of them just get too emotional. I think it was my last straw with the first name I put down when she we was talking about something, and then and when she was all on my side when we was talking about one thing, and then somebody else came in here and helped me look at another perspective. Then I start, understanding the other perspective on it. And it's like she wanted me just to stick with that 1%, and then she's like, "Man, yeah, y'all was talking about nothing." And I'm like, "What the heck is you?" I'm like, "What?" I guess it kind of annoyed me when she said that. I'm like, "So all this time you talking about I wasn't talking about nothing?" I'm like, "Bro."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I never seen that side of that person. That's interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I see she try to stay balanced, but it always been some stuff we just disagree on. But I just didn't like the fact, and then she just stopped coming around with me and her when I said something, and when she irritated me, and then she was like, and I said something, I guess I was loud, and she's like, "I don't know who the you think you talking to or something like that." I was like, "Wow." I said, "Okay, gotcha."
Not cussing and don't know.
You're right. I was like, okay. And then I ain't never seen her in my life ever since. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, your feelings. I ain't like that, man. I ain't about to stop changing up. Cause the thing is, it was like she agreed or understood anything I told her. And then I noticed that's what I like about this is the other person I'm following, that me and him on 2 different pages. But I started seeing some of my followers, cause I had made a video. And he stitched my stuff, or not stitched, he made a video of my video and stuff. And I was just seeing how many of my mutuals were sitting there. Not trying to say they shouldn't agree with him or not, though, but it's like, if y'all knew what I stand on, y'all support me and stuff, y'all was more on like, "Oh yeah, he got you, Kev, he got you." I'm like, dang, what is that y'all holding y'all breath to see somebody got me? I mean, I don't be caring, but it's just like, dang. Did y'all ever take the time to see what I meant by or ask me? You know what I'm saying? What I meant about that video? Or you just automatically took his side? But I don't know. I feel like some people just be on here that act like they support me and stuff, just waiting on me to. I don't know what internal thing that can be. Whatever. Let me wait on me to take a L or whatever the situation. If that's what they, whatever. I'm not saying I don't even believe I took a L on that. It's just people always take out my content of what they want to take out of it, what they feel when I'm telling people what I meant. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I noticed lately is people will tell me how they feel and tell me what I meant, and I'm telling you what I meant. And I know I post some of these things. I say all this stuff, a lot of these things for a reason. You just don't, either you don't agree with it or not, but you don't tell me what I meant. I'm going to explain to you what I meant. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally tell you what I meant. You come with your own perception of how it should be because of how you feel about it. I'm like, that's 2 different things.
Yeah, no, I see. I mean, you have your own reasons on why, but I get what you're saying on having to be in the right spaces of your ideas and goals, because it's.
I ain't looking on robots though, but I just we not expanding.
I see. It's ruthless, because I do like, for me, because
go ahead.
Because I feel like this, for me, I'm not. You could not, Kev. You're a male, and you could tell me if you correct me. I don't think I'm one of the women who downgrade men. I give everybody the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak down on men. If I ever have, I apologize. But when you continuously hearing conversations like that on back to back, it gets tiring, man. You just kind of learn where you stand at some point in time. It's like, oh, is this all you can offer on this, or if this is the problem, why can't we come up with solutions on it? That's where my problem comes in with TikTok on certain sides. What? Okay, cool. Like how we both can agree. We accept. Okay, we know it's a problem. Boom. We know this is that. All right. What's the solution? What's the action plan? I don't think it's not many times. It's not many times I can say I have heard. I'll put it like this. I think there's only one person I can say gave an action plan or gave some type of conclusion in their life. And I'm gonna say this for your accountability room. Your room is an open space where it's getting the thoughts and opinions to where we can see, oh, this is how you think, this is that. You see what I'm saying? Right. So I don't really have that huge expectation, but like, oh, this is your call to action. You see what I'm saying? Right. So, but it's only one person I can say that did that. Out of how long I've been on TikTok? It's crazy.
Some people, like I said, that's why I asked when I first started this app. I said, "What is everybody's reason for being on this app?" You know, because I just pay attention to the lives that people go in. You know, even with my music, I be paying attention. I don't be saying too much. I just be listening. I just looking at like, okay. So I see you mess with that. I see you into that. I see you, you know, whatever. And I just be like, I be trying to see if it match up with the things that we talk about. And you know, I just be looking at. That's why, cause some stuff just be making sense to me. You know, when I be like, dang, so all right, this person act like they for growth, but they really on here just to heal in some type of way or entertainment or if they're bored, something like that, right? And now, you know, everybody got their own reasons why they on here and stuff, but it's just like, don't, you know, that's kind of what Sean was talking about earlier. Why I say one thing and then you counter what you preach on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us tend to do that. It go back to that the hypocrite stuff we were talking about. And also, people just don't practice what they preach. It's like but they want to get on pastors and stuff and talking about, hey, it's pastors that do this stuff, and yet they preach the word. But you're doing the exact same thing as the pastors. You know what I'm saying? You know all the right things to do and what to avoid, and even some talk about account. You know, I'm accountable. I'm responsible. It's a lot of stuff. You know, it don't make sense. They read Bibles, all that stuff. And then just, you know, then still see them in some other stuff. Have you heard? Have you heard the word?
Do pina
But
coladas
yeah.
have tequila in them?
Huh?
Do pina coladas have tequila in them? You got rum.
I think it's rum because I love me some pina coladas. But yeah,
Well, they put
I
like
think it's
Puerto
rum.
Rican rum in there or something.
You know what? This tequila gonna have to do it.
If you like pina coladas,
I'm so sorry.
I
I
love
don't
pina
even know what a
coladas.
drink is. I don't know what beers and wine.
Beer and wine is crazy. I get hell for drinking beer as a woman.
No, okay, I'm gonna say this. It's only one beer I've ever tried, but it's not
Yeah, that's
no,
what I'm
like
drinking heavy liquor.
it's not no American beer though. That's the American beer versus another country beer. It's not the same. It's more. How can I say? It's a little bit more tangy in a way, but it's not that. It don't taste like what it tastes like. I don't remember because I sipped it and I spit it back out. But the last one I had, it was more like a seltzer drink. It was kind of interesting.
You're welcome. I like Bud Light. Bud Light Platinum is pretty good.
Hey.
It's smooth.
So I'm a situational person. So anytime I drink something, it has to match the meal or the occasion.
Wow.
So like if it's burgers and barbecue and all of that, I could do a beer. Now if it's a nicer restaurant, depending on what kind of meal it is, I could do wine.
That do sound funny, a woman drinking a beer.
I can say this.
I'll be very like that. It seems like y'all should talk like that too. Talk like man.
I lived in Texas. We all drink beer and watch football.
I live in Texas too, girl. My mama drank an OE air night.
Thank you. Wait, no.
She put it in a
That's
glass.
why.
though. She puts it in a glass. She
Gotta drink like that.
Nah,
But
I'm drinking
yes,
some.
I
I can't. See, this is the thing about me drinking strong. I feel like this. I never had a hangover, and I was taking shots of gin like it was water. Like we was playing drunk Uno. Didn't have no
Everybody keeps
hangover.
Gin don't
Be
taste like
sleep,
Christmas
though.
trees to you?
You said what?
I never had a hangover, but be
Christmas trees.
passed out with your face in the
You
toilet.
can't tell me gin don't smell and taste like Christmas tree smell.
We have one drink, and that's once a year on New Year's at the Cigar Lounge, and that is 1942.
Who, you?
Nah, 1800. But it don't.
I like Plaza Azul.
That 1800. It's just for me. But see, that's why I said, yo, like that's a problem. I didn't have no hangover. Yeah, I need y'all to. I didn't have no hangover. So for me, I was like, that's a problem. Now you're like, nah, that's something strong.
Gin, it tastes like Christmas trees.
It tasted like
gin?
water. It was going down like water.
Who drank gin?
Well, gin
I
is smooth as
was
hell.
telling my
I gotta-
testimony.
I'm about to make a judgment about you.
Let me say it tastes like Christmas trees.
Do it
I
smell
don't
like
do
it too?
gin,
Gin.
but
I don't even know
gin
people
make
drink
you
gin.
sin. That's what they used to say.
But
Gin
see, I
make you
ain't
sin.
sin. I didn't sin. I did not
I drunk
sin.
it one time in my life. I ain't want it no more. Ugh.
We used to get gin, the little $5 gins of Amsterdam.
Mm.
We would have a homeless person go get it in the store and bring it back out, and that's what we used to drink in high school. And it always smelled like Christmas.
High school.
Oh yes, I come from a long line of professional alcoholics.
That's
Yeah, me
what my
too.
daddy told me later on. He was like, all your on his side, and people. I mean, I done had moon too. I got a can of moon. Nah, I mean, I don't
That
touch it.
moonshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
See, for
drank
me, I was in
I
like
don't touch
I
that
was in the
moonshine.
11th
Ooh,
grade
no.
drinking every single day in class. They thought it was water. It was definitely vodka, and I was still making straight A's. I graduated with a 4.9
Who
and
thought it was
graduated
water?
from a mate teachers.
It
They couldn't smell on your
ain't
breath.
no way.
Hell
No,
no.
So you ain't gonna
they
stay
do.
and smell it?
Nope.
They do. All the honors. I was in honors. Everybody was drinking, and everybody
Right.
took
Like
that.
I went
And
to school every
everybody,
day. I'm
yep.
telling
You
you,
can
I would
smell
have
it at a
got
job when somebody drinking. That's crazy.
I could if it wasn't for the fact that I was drinking on a regular basis, I would have went to jail quite a few times.
You either drank or you smoked.
Nah, I wasn't one of
No, I
them
see
people.
people go to. Nah, I wouldn't
No,
say
in honor
push that
class,
out.
nah,
Some people go to jail from drinking.
I do agree
Yeah,
with
no,
with
I'm
the
handsy. I
honors.
talk with my hands.
Huh?
You talk with your hand.
Yeah, I talk with my hands. And that's not, schools don't condone violence. So
I was talking about sign
Yeah,
language.
I'm learning more and more about you.
more and more about me is crazy. I am a normal human being.
She's honest. She
Sure,
takes accountability.
I do hold myself accountable.
she do. That's what She called me yesterday with that. I was like, "Who are you?" I'm that beer drinker.
I don't like that you think I sound like Marge Simpson sisters.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear you sing.
I
Talk
can't
about my
sing.
thing. I
I can't sing. I sound like an unalived cow.
do it. Moo moo moo.
Probably got a
Move,
pretty
baby, get
voice.
out the way.
I'm like an unalive cow.
Nope, I sound like an unalived cow. Or a
Mm.
cow being unalive. That's what she said.
You gonna have it
You
over
don't know nothing
here?
about that's what she said. What you talking about?
Huh?
Leave my word alone. I'm the king of it.
You gonna have the karaoke over here?
I'm about to
Karaoke.
carry up myself to sleep in a minute because I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Y'all do
Gotta
karaoke.
do another weekend.
I'm the queen of board games, though.
Ain't I think is Mirror on?
I think Mirror on. I think so.
Is
This
they
Friday. It's
see if they turn their
Friday.
lungs up over there. Let me see something real quick.
Ooh, it's good.
I haven't sang over there in a couple of weeks. I do gotta go over there, but I just haven't had no
I
time.
think I missed last week, but I went the week before that. Or it's one of them.
Tell him I said he purposely skipped over me.
I'm not gonna lie, the tequila did it. This is kind of snazzy. It tastes good.
Don't make me make a mixed drink, because Lord have mercy.
Well, I made pineapple lemonade and then I added the coconut slush because I got a slushy maker now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I added the pineapple lemonade to the slushy maker with the coconut and it was good. And then it was like, I wanted a pina colada because it tasted like a pina colada lemonade, but I ain't had no rum. So I got tequila, YOLO, and it's good.
I don't know, because tomorrow I'm getting me a seafood
You a
boil.
partier, huh?
And the more you talk, the more it make me
I'm
want to
not
make
a partier. I'd be in the house.
talk about it. That's all. Now I will say that for me, if I drink, if I'm not staying at your house, or if I'm not if I'm at a friend's event that's out in public, I'm not drinking.
Yep.
But if I'm at a house that I'm comfortable with staying with at the that night, I'll drink. I don't too much.
See, I don't do a lot of going out because I
Me either.
work at a bar. So I'm out on a regular basis. It still feel like being out.
Gotcha.
So my days off, I be in the house. Like me and my friends, a good time is like watching Harry Potter movies and ordering sushi. That sounds like fun to me.
That sounds like a really good time.
But out of all movies you said, I wasn't expecting you to say Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
I never in my life.
Star Trek. I ain't watching no Harry Potter.
Yeah, I can't watch neither one. I can't watch neither one for me. That's not my genre. I need something. Give me something like this show on Netflix called You.
Oh, that's
I'm actually reading that book right now.
Okay, so it's kind of fun that it's a book like that because I might look into it because I thought about I want to say storyline similar, but
well, the series is based off a series of books.
And I heard they are gruesome.
So,
y'all tell me the book, though. I told y'all my goal.
So I could tell you about the book without telling you the book, so you could still choose if you want to read it or not. You feel me? So it's like the show, it humanizes Joe. It makes you think as a viewer, who would I be if I was Joe? Is Joe a bad person doing bad things, or is Joe a good person making bad decisions because of his misconception of what love is? It makes you have to figure that out throughout the series. In the book, he's just a stalker ass.
Mm,
What?
gotcha.
But it's still a really good book so far. Like, I'm halfway finished with the first book.
I need to
Ooh,
read.
you know what?
But it is
Sneak
different.
up on
It's not like even the introduction when she goes to his bookstore and you see him talk about her. It's day and night. It's It's the same story, but the character Joe specifically is day and night.
Got you.
Joe is more like Dexter in the book than he is in the show.
Okay. The only reason, because I'm thinking about it, I feel like this. To me, it's not childlike, but to some it's others. I'm still kid-like for books. And what I mean by that is, do y'all know the author Kwame Alexander?
I've heard that name.
Okay, look at the form that he write in. If it's not in that format, it's very hard for me to concentrate and read a book. Like, I can't read from point blank to point blank. I can't do it.
Okay, so you would have liked Precious in its original context then, because I had to get it rewritten in regular English in order to read it for class, because I cannot read it the other way.
If it's not like in some type of like stanza format, it's not gonna work for me. I lose interest real quick.
You know what else? Like, because I'm doing something similar. I know you said you're doing the 75 hard, but I want to pick up 5 new habits.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why I'm learning High Valerian. I sure am.
How's it going?
It's pretty good. It's not that hard. I thought it was going to be hard because when you watch Game of Thrones and you hear them speak it, it sounds way different. But it's actually a language on Duolingo. You can learn how to speak High Valerian. I want to be able to watch Game of Thrones without the subtitles sometimes.
Facts.
You know what?
Facts. Understood. I get that.
I hear that.
Add on to
I
your
feel like
repertoire.
I feel like the nerds from the 90s that used to learn Klingon from Star Trek.
I'm a Trekkie.
So am I. But like, you know, I wanted to learn something new, and it's like I already speak. I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I speak enough to carry a conversation. But I'm fluent in ASL. So I wanted to pick up a language just to pick up a language. Like, I didn't want to, like, you know, I tried learning Arabic, and that was giving me headaches every day.
Yeah, what they say, you smart. Go buy you a house.
I tried to
Stuff like
learn
that. That's nice.
Mandarin on Duolingo. Girl, it gave me the biggest headache. I was like, nope, never mind.
Yep.
Too many symbols.
Yep. And then it's like they tell you how to say it, and then you say it, and it never sounds like what they saying. I was confused.
Makes me feel slow. It made
Like, and then you put it on the turtle, feeling like you did something, and it's still not right.
you ain't did nothing at all.
So I'm learning High Valerian.
Another book you can add, Naya, is, I don't know if you read it or not, The Divine Comedy.
No, I haven't read it.
Ooh, girl, that's still my favorite book. I still go back to it. It's pretty much like Dante's Inferno.
I like Dante's Inferno.
It's
It took me a month to read it, but it was good.
Yes.
So y'all, I'm taking it. Y'all really like books and be on book talk. That's what I'm taking.
I be
I
on
don't. So I've never been on Book Talk.
They be arguing, girl. Don't go over there. It's just like this over here. It's drama. They
That's
just
what I
argue about
heard.
conclusions of
And what
plots.
y'all not gonna do is taint literature for me.
So okay, so this is the thing though. So although I'm not I find it very funny. My family found it very funny too. I'm not the biggest fan of reading. However, I love to write. So I've been looking into Book Talk more of a marketing aspect because I do plan on, dropping a book soon, but it takes time. But however, it's just, like I can say learning different things because I don't want to be the person of like, oh, I'm just joining this community. I mean, again, I don't have the best knowledge on books like that because I can't just sit there and focus and read a book like that. It's not. It feel like it's a weird feeling for me. So it's just kind of interesting to hear y'all discuss like how you say Harry Potter and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting.
I feel it. I like doing writing prompts, and I just got a good one that I'm working on where you have to write the intro to your, like, imagine you're writing a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
The intro has to be to the book, and the intro has to be about a magician who traps his victims in his deck of playing cards.
Oh, that's smooth now. That's a smooth prompt.
So it's like that's what the book is
right
about.
with that.
So you have to write the intro to whatever that book would be.
Oh,
And I think I'm gonna take it further and like complete the story. I don't know, but like I had fun with that one because there's pages on Instagram where they'll just give you writing prompts.
Mm-hmm. One thing I can't say for me, one thing I've been doing a lot lately in public, if I think of like a story, because that's just me. Like I love poetry, write poetry. I just want to get back into writing for real because that's just one way I did express myself. Especially since I don't play music no more.
No music. Oh my God, how do you do it?
Oh, I don't play. I mean, what I mean by that is I don't play. I play the drums and I don't play no more.
Oh, I thought you meant like you don't listen to music anymore.
Not really though. In my car, not really. Cause it's a whole. When you as a musician, sometimes if you hear, prime example, how you like probably write as well. If it's like, ooh, I add this to that. Ooh, I do that, and I started looking at music like that a whole lot. So it's kind of.
I do isolate whenever I'm about to write so that I'm not influenced by anything else.
So I know, like for myself, as soon as I think of some, or like just see somebody in public, like, ooh, that look like a good character for this book. And their demeanor, how they come off. Now, I may not be that person, personality, but that's an interesting conversation because where I'm from, we a small city. And people love to talk. Actually, how your day? What's going on? Don't even know your mama. How your mama doing? You don't know me, lady. So I just want to get back into writing in a way. Actually do something with it instead of just, I'm writing this and not sharing it.
I'm wishing you success in whatever that endeavor is for you. That whatever God's gifting you is thrives and flourishes, and that you're able to enjoy it while you do it. That it never starts to feel like a chore or a job.
I don't think I really need to hear that because you done spoke so much just off of that, spoke life into so many projects I have been working on. Just busy working.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm glad. I like hearing people be creative. It's not enough of that in this dreary and drab world. Where did I get blue lipstick from? Why do I have this? I'm sorry, that was random.
No, you good.
Where did Kevin go? I hope he ain't go to sleep. No, there's his big head.
Why you leave that like that? Why you leave back like that? You leave back like the kid getting out the cookie jar. Doing so you ain't got no business.
That's exactly what he do.
All the time. Lord have mercy.
I got mine. This is what happens when you lose AirPods. So you buy new AirPods to replace the old AirPods, but then you find the old AirPods, and then you lose those AirPods. So then you buy new ones, and now you got 5 pairs of AirPods and can't find the ones you want.
That's my biggest pet peeve about people that own AirPods. My sister and my homegirls like that all the time. All the time. I don't get it.
I want my Pro, but
y'all make me not want to own no AirPods. Y'all the reason why I don't want AirPods.
Well, like
people like y'all.
I be losing stuff in general though. Like this isn't an AirPod thing. I really just be losing everything. I would lose my head if it wasn't on my shoulders. I'm gonna charge the Pro ones in case I can't find my Pro 2s that have both of them in the case, because the ones I can't find only got one different. So,
See, this is no.
I can't find both of my Power Beats either.
That's why I prefer just spend $5, $10 at Five Below.
My phone be tripping out if I use, like, if it's not an Apple product, my phone start tweaking. I don't
Hey,
know
my
why.
phone been tweaking too though. Not because of that, but my phone been tweaking too.
Well, that's because the new phone is about to come out, so everybody iPhone finna start glitching a little bit.
Messages become delayed. My phone will vibrate, and I could be in the chat and the message will not show.
So I worked at Verizon.
Yo, I'm about to see y'all tomorrow.
Oh, damn.
It's that time. I got one more day I gotta do work, and then I want to do that other. I'm gonna talk about that healing again tomorrow. I'm gonna alternate that. Back.
That was a conversation. All right,
That was a
bye, guys.
conversation, wasn't it?
All right, y'all have a blessed night, and I hope you
All
have
right,
a
I
blessed life as
appreciate all
well.
y'all. I appreciate that. You can get one on the way out too.
You messy.
I'm super right. You gotta remember that.
Good night.
All right, I catch you.